Yeah!
Hello? Hello, is anyone there?
Oh, man. Oh, the music cut out just as I was scatting. Whoa, Divine!
What's up, Divine? What's up, Embalock?
Hey, guys. Oh, yeah, let's get this all visible.
On time as per usual.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
Thank you for the what's up, Bravey? Subscription, subscription.
Sad burrito.
Oh, have you?
What's up?
I don't know. Yo, Divine. Oh my gosh, Divine. Are we at 2 years? We're at 2 years. Look at this. So these are all. I don't know if I've even. So that's a normal sub badge, right? It's just my face, kind of.
Oh, that's you?
Kind of like pixelated. I mean, if you look at, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see it.
And then at 6 months,
You start becoming Robocop.
and then later, well, there's no. Okay, then it becomes this.
Cool.
1 year, and our first 2-year subscriber.
Whoa!
Oh my gosh!
That's cool.
I'm a megalomaniac. Congratulations, freaking Divine! It's officially 2 years.
Well done.
Oh my gosh, 24 months.
2-year bone.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. A 2-year bone. Respect. First to 2 years in gold. You got it. Good, doing well, Sad Burrito. Don't die. Thank you, that backwards guy. Do you see this? Do you see how
very
this
well
works?
done.
Yes.
I would be way too stupid to have ever gotten that
Well,
unless it's pointed out to me.
Well, I've had experience before. This is not my first. Door.
I filmed a rodeo yesterday.
Did you really?
Yep.
Like
down in San Antonio at the Spurs Center or whatever it's called.
Wait.
I filmed a show.
The
band.
Harrisburg Park? No.
AT&T Center.
AT&T Center. So the actual wow, it's a big one.
Yeah,
what was the band? Can you say?
It was a Eli Young band. They're like a country band.
Yeah, for whom you have done a number of music videos and helped with his popularity, his burgeoning popularity.
No,
I think it's mostly due to you.
I'll take all of it.
Yeah.
Lobrocop.
Lobrocop. Divine is what you might say a gold member. Yes, a gold
member.
Been absent because of school craziness, but laid up with strep tonight.
Well, strap in, buddy. We're gonna be like some nice cough syrup going down.
Strap in for the strap. Strap in the strip. Strap it on. No. Sorry about strep. That's sucky and highly contagious. I hope you feel better soon. But I'm glad you're here. But I'm sad you have strep. But I'm glad you're here.
Strep is really the worst.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's one of the worst ones.
Sucks.
Yeah, because then you're doing this thing where you're like afraid to swallow, so you just go like this.
Oh,
I don't want to.
No.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Yeah, and then but the nice thing is that you get laid up in bed for 6 months, and then you watch a bunch of movies, and then you become Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, that's
what happens. That's I've heard at least 2 tremendously successful legendary directors
because they had ailments growing up.
I got polio. Yeah. That's not a good one to joke about.
But it's true. I know you're right.
It might be Schrader.
I think you might be. Yeah, that could be
or
one.
Someone. Wait, no, maybe not Schrader. It's somebody else.
Schrader was just like I was just locked in a porno theater for 8 months. Yeah, first by choice.
I was Dutch reform. Exactly. He was like I came from an extremely religious household, moved right into a leather bar, and did nothing but explore. Strap in with your strap out. Strep is like constant agony.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. But at least you can speak without speaking. Oliver Stone locked himself up with a giant bag of coke in France to write Scarface. That makes all the sense in the world.
Did he do that with every subsequent movie after that?
And honestly, the only thing that would have made more sense in that scenario is if he had actually hired French actors to do the Cuban accents, because that would explain why they sound like they do. Because they sound like if you took space aliens and hired them to play Cubans, but they'd never heard a Cuban accent before, and you sent a racist to them, and had him explain it to them poorly.
This is as you were, I'm Oliver Stone as you said all that, and he's like, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Let's go for it.
That's all good.
That's good.
He's like, I don't understand why people were making such a big deal about that huge mountain of Coke he was that bowl of Coke at the end. I just wrote that because I was looking around my hotel room and I saw it. And what you know. Hey!
Oh man, we're just roasting Oliver Stone because he deserves it.
Really hold this feet to the fire.
Yeah, take that, Stone. You very well respected and rightfully so filmmaker. Great.
Yeah.
Gotta love Oliver Stone.
I
mean, you gotta appreciate Oliver Stone.
I love Oliver Stone. Like even his massive misfires. I'm like. I love, especially 90s Stone.
Yeah.
When he was just going for it.
Yeah, man.
Like, I think...
Any Given Sunday. I mean, I really do.
Me too.
I love Any Given Sunday.
It's insane. And, like, that was when that editing style that he was using throughout all the 90s, where he was just constantly throwing in weird stuff.
Yeah. There's like lightning.
Like bumps and stuff, and you'd be like, I don't understand what you're doing here, but...
Gosh, but that sequence where, like, Willie...
I know what you're talking about.
He goes...
Yeah.
And he goes...
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, football's amazing. Yeah. Oh, man. Oliver Stone gonna need some heavy-duty sound for these burns.
Ooh.
Nah, we love Oliver Stone.
Yeah.
JFK.
Oh, I've never seen U-Turn.
Nor have I. So we're gonna do.
All night.
We're gonna watch it. I'm gonna refer to things like that I've never seen as if I've seen them. And then that's how it's gonna go for the rest of time. Very sure I can talk to you guys even though I can't talk anymore IRL. Yes. Day one of vacation, you threw back out. Dang it. That really
guys.
sucks. What's going on? Yeah.
It's going around.
A lot of hurt. Well, guys, welcome to... I heard...
That happened when you opened your sweater up.
I heard my wife and daughter, I believe, were watching a movie downstairs, and the production logo...
It was like the
TriStar.
Yeah, but it sounded like a TH. It wasn't, but it was just like he unzipped it and went like this, and then went...
Yeah. Well, it's brilliant to spend time with my wife now. Rock and roll. Just got back from vacation. She misses you. Congrats on 2 years. Congratulations to you. Great job keeping it up. Thanks. I'm trying. Thanks, man. Lots of love. No, dude, absolutely. By all means. Guys, we today on Filmography are here to talk about a wonderful film. See you later. Called Nicole Kidman's Trapped in a Television. Someone let her out. It's called To Die For. It's called To Die For. It is by Gus Van Sant. It was released in 1995. It was written by Buck Henry. What else do you want to know about it?
Yeah, Buck Henry.
Yeah, Buck Henry.
He wrote Graduate, right?
He wrote The Graduate. Isn't that awesome? I believe he was also on Saturday Night Live.
Really?
I
looked him up as I was watching.
Entirely wrong about that.
I looked him up, and he's exactly what I thought he looked like. Because when I was reading the Raging Bulls book, he's mentioned a couple of times. Because did he have a hand in writing? Like, did a pass on Bonnie and Clyde? Or some of those seminal movies at the beginning there, I feel like he was having a...
But he's in To Die For. He's the teacher. That's Buck Henry.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Then I saw a young photo of him.
Yeah.
Wow.
An unnerving snot. Nicole Kidman was constantly reminding me of Jake.
Yeah.
Gosh, we missed that opportunity, kind of. We kind of missed it. I feel like we missed the opportunity to do that, to pair this. Not really, though. This is not the same thing as Nightcrawler at all. It is a very similar character.
As I was watching it, I was like, and I take full blame for this. No. I really pushed for this one.
No, and I'm glad you did. I love it.
But as I was watching, I was like, oh, this is a media movie.
Yeah.
Way more than it is a Valentine's movie. But it analyzes in a broader sense relationships and how narcissists, and like...
I think it's more about obsession and manipulation. Because the media part, honestly, is like the MacGuffin a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like the what causes her to do everything.
Yeah.
But...
it's we'll get into it.
We could pair this with Nightcrawler, but I also was like, oh man, I want to pair this with Blue Velvet.
Oh, wow.
Which I like...
Why would you want to... Wait, why?
Because of the suburban underbelly kind of thing, which I've never seen Blue Velvet.
Oh, it's good.
I know.
It's really good.
I really want to see it.
It's one of my favorite Lynches.
Yeah, it's
Lynches.
Gotta be. Immediately regret coming here. Sorry.
Hey.
That's what I like to hear. I like
that's the vibe we are trying to go for.
I like to get people efficiently done with this stream. How you doing, Xenomorph Queen? Why?
Is it this?
An unnerving
Is
song.
it this?
Yeah.
Is it this right here? This is one of my favorite.
It's fantastic.
Nicole Kidman. I think it is my favorite Nicole
Mine too.
Kidman
I mean,
performance.
How do you? I mean, she's a tremendously gifted and powerful actress. I don't know how you get any better with this. I don't know. This is
She's
just
so darn funny.
Yeah,
and like
without telling
yeah.
a joke once, but it's so great. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! Why? Because why is Nicole Kidman here?
Why do I why? Because I why.
Because we're talking about it's too cold. Why do I keep taking this off? Okay.
Gus Van Sant did Elephant, right? Yes.
He did do Elephant. I love Elephant.
He did Elephant. He did Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting.
The Psycho remake.
Yes.
Drugstore
We Bought
Cowboy.
a Zoo.
What?
I think he did We Bought a
Oh
Zoo.
wow. Milk.
Promised Land. Milk. Definitely Milk.
Oh, he did Promise Land. Oh. Jerry. Yep.
Jerry. Definitely. Hold on.
There's a couple more.
Others that you might have. Drugstore Cowboy.
Drugstore Cowboy. Last Days.
Last Days.
Which
I've
is really
never
good.
seen.
It's really good.
I
It's
really
part of
like
that
that
kind of Jerry trilogy
Definitely.
he was doing.
Definitely.
I think Elephant's a part of that too.
Elephant.
If I'm not
I love
mistaken.
Elephant.
Elephant's haunting.
Yeah. Gosh, it's so good. Goodness.
Yes, the Kurt Cobain
so-
movie, Last Days.
Yeah.
Yes.
My Own Private Idaho.
My Own Private Idaho. That's probably one of my. Although rewatching this, I'm like, it's probably not my favorite. I think My Own Private Idaho is my favorite.
I feel like this is a fantastic. I really enjoyed this. I'd never seen it before. I'd always wanted to.
And I had seen it, and then I forgot how much I had forgotten about it.
Yeah.
So this was like a new watch for me too.
And it's great. I think it would be hard to call my favorite Gus Van Sant film because in some ways
Yeah.
it doesn't feel exactly like a Gus Van
Yeah,
Sant.
I agree.
It misses something. It's wonderful.
It has Tim Burton qualities to it.
It feels like halfway between Tim Burton and David Lynch to me.
Yes, that is I think a lot of that's Elfman's music.
Absolutely.
But
also
the filming and the way they do it and everything, it has that's a perfect marriage of those two. Yeah,
Like
Lynch and Burton.
Because it's like a little less fucked up than Lynch would be, but it's also this is going to sound, the acting is a little more weighty than you would find in Burton.
But it is more weighty, and yet it still has that theatricality to it.
Gosh,
yeah.
she's so amazing. I look at Nicole Kidman's face, always looked like a Tim Burton movie. Exactly. I've seen that. Oh, the career. How was you guys' Valentine's Day? Mine was pretty shite. Oh gosh, sorry, Xenomorph.
Oh, sorry.
I
made a fort.
So, that's right.
That's what I did.
I made a fart. See you later. Still here. Okay, sorry, Xenomorph Queen. I empathized fully with that, and it made me sad. And then I laughed a little bit because it was funny to see someone named Xenomorph Queen saying they had a crappy Valentine's Day. Because your name is Xenomorph Queen, so I was thinking of the Queen alien.
Just
this
me and these eggs. Me and these, the sack of eggs.
It's like I had to, yeah. No, I'm very sorry. Stepford. Well, I mean, she was in like the remake of Stepford Wives, which was
something
entirely forgettable, unfortunately for me.
The framing with the talk show with the parents recounting the story was so how so like in terms of like the narrative framing of it or the actual composition of it.
It's interesting, Em. No, of course no one loves you. Xenomorph Queen, we love you.
We love you.
That's true, and I'm sure.
We're glad you're here.
I think every single human being on this earth has people who around them who love and appreciate them more than we understand, more than we know. Not to say that sounded condescending. I didn't mean to be like you don't know the trappings of your own life. I just mean I think we would often be surprised to know how much the people around us care, but probably you don't necessarily want that sort of thing. Would you like I want to listen to anything you have to say. Get it all out if you'd like to. I'm very sorry you had a bad day. I apologize. I had a very busy one, and anyway, we love you.
Yeah.
Sometimes my brain just falls out onto the narrative. The narrative, the device of having it broken up. I was surprised by that. This is why you prefer monsters over humans. Sure. I mean, most people, in some contexts, like the horror context, we like monsters more than humans. Sure.
I love Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Frankenstein's monster.
Humans sometimes, unfortunately, can be the biggest monsters. Just a little something to think about from my brain.
Put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah. Sometimes humans can be Lots of love. Yeah, lots of love, Xenomorph. I know Valentine's is rough for a lot of people. That's why we're doing movies like this.
Yeah, the narrative framing of the talk show. Now that we're talking about it, it's interesting because were they on the show? At what point in the narrative were they on the show?
That is interesting. Hold on. Yes. I agree. Because I thought of that as well. But let me real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry. This is all over. But let me very, very quickly just read for anyone. Also, yeah. Who has seen it or who got to see it? Also, what's a pterodophiliac?
Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen this.
Yeah. What's a pixel? Van Sant said he looks like he'd be Jason Bateman's uncle. That's fair. Yeah.
That's a huge compliment.
Yeah.
1 we got one. We got one. 1 and a monkey.
1 and a monkey. We got 1. We got a monkey. Where's To Die For? Oh yeah, The Sea of Trees, which went weirdly like straight to video. Paranoid Park.
Oh yeah. I just love that he gets to do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Oh, Finding Forrester.
That's Gus Van Sant?
That's weird.
That is weird.
I never saw that though, so I can't
Nor did I. You're the man now.
You're the man now, dog.
Okay. Here we go. Wait. A beautiful but naive, aspiring television personality films a documentary on teenagers with a darker ulterior motive. Yeah. It's weird that they put the documentary up front, but yeah. You will have to look up what a pterodophiliac is. That's fair. I will do that. I remember to do that. Well,
what would you say is the main theme of the movie?
Right? How about I could just sort of as a blanket, you could just say obsession, right? Mm-hmm. Because she is obsessed with this idea of fame and just this sort of obsessive pursuit of what she terms success. And then, his really essentially the two teenagers' obsessions with her. Mm-hmm. So I'd say obsession. But
I think that's probably a pretty astute way, and how, because you could envelop narcissism and sociopathy and all those things within that, because I thought it was such a brilliant look at narcissism.
Yeah.
And how there's a sequence later in the film, the movie is it's about a woman who wants to become a famous news broadcaster and journalist, and is willing to do anything to get it. And she lives in a really small town. She's working she horns her way into a public broadcasting weather girl job, and she gets married, and he wants her to not be such a career woman and pop out some kids, and she's against that, and she's just really in her own head. She thinks she can be this. She's just obsessed with the idea of being famous. Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's the because I think it begins and ends the movie, but she's the teenager's quoting her, but she's Suzanne says that you're not anyone in America unless you're on TV.
Yeah,
because if you do something worthwhile and no one sees it, then
what's the point?
Then what's the point? And so people on TV are better than the people who aren't. Or you could take
they literally say that.
Yeah, take a person and put them on TV and they become a better person. And I'm like, that is not my traditional understanding. That works. At least not on its own.
And as outlandish a statement as that is, it is amazing how many people. It's crazy how relevant this movie still is.
Sure.
Because especially in this era of reality TV and Instagram influencers and wanting to be famous for not really doing much.
Anything. Hold on a second. Thank you for that gold brocop 24-month subscription. I'm just kidding. No, I'm self-roasting here. I mean, isn't it crazy, these narcissists who try to, create personas?
You unzip your sweat, and it's just your face right here, yeah.
I have one of those.
I believe you do, yeah.
Anyway, sorry
to interrupt. So, this one, it really hit him hard.
I was like, yeah, she's great. She's a great character. She's fantastic.
Don't forget to smash that follow button.
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget to like, subscribe, buy merch, check it out. I have merch. Son of a bitch. I'm who they're warning you about. Terrifying reactions, particularly sexual attraction to monsters. Oh. Nice.
Like physical, like trolls and things of... What kind of monster?
Rock and roll.
But,
Terato, what is that? I want to hear that. I would like to know what the etymology of Terato is. Anyway, but yeah, rock and roll. Go ahead. Sorry.
Damn.
No, yeah, I was trying to like be meta, and I ruined it.
You ruined it.
Because
I can't remember.
Gigantic narcissistic ego. I apologize.
Oh, I know. It was narcissism. And
hold on, you were talking, and I remembered it.
Whipped me back.
Yeah.
But she's so obsessed, and her husband doesn't want her to be, a career-focused woman, and that grows with instant resentment because she's so obsessed with being famous, and she lures these two three teenagers who are like very attracted to her, and she plays them like fiddles, and ultimately it leads to her convincing these teens to kill her husband.
Yeah.
And I just want to finish this off.
No.
There's this point after the husband is murdered where the police are there and there's reporters outside. And it's a slow motion sequence where she walks outside, and then I think this is the same sequence. It might be a little bit after that, but she's walking and there's people like asking her questions, and they keep cutting to her point of view, and she views it as applause.
Yeah.
And I thought that was
so brilliant.
So brilliant. Yeah. And how, because you often look at people in the media or things, like particularly for people who do crazy stuff just to get some notoriety, and you're like, what is in their head? Mm-hmm. And that was just such a funny way of like being like, this is what's in their head.
Yeah.
And this is how they view it.
Yeah.
Because you see all these documentaries about crazy people, and you're like, what are they thinking?
Yeah, like John Hinckley Jr. shot Reagan to impress Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I think like that sequence is amazing because it pans. It's like, because everyone's been told that he's passed, that he's been killed. It pans like the entire family's reaction. Mm-hmm. Like it goes for, gosh darn it, man! It like that's something that like, because it doesn't as satirical and kind of like as much of a black, like I saw it listed as a black comedy, and I'm like, yeah,
for sure.
But it also, what's admirable about it to me is that it doesn't play itself as a comedy as much as like the music.
There's a real pathos to it.
The music is yeah. The music is kind of like a hint, and the music kind of lightens it. Mm-hmm. But really, like, even though Joaquin Phoenix has some like lines or moments that make me laugh out loud, and she has many moments that make me laugh out loud, they are not playing it at all as a joke. Like,
that's what's so fascinating.
They're not tipping their hand. They're not. It's straight. Like, it's exactly the same as it would be in a straight drama. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, she's playing a big character.
But I think that's what's so fascinating about it is. And why I think it's such a great way of analyzing narcissism, because she is such a big character. Yes. But the ramifications are super real.
Absolutely.
And they play them straight.
And they don't. And that's what is they don't skimp on, particularly when they're panning that, they don't skimp on the emotional impact.
Yeah.
Like Dan Hidea's performance breaks my heart.
It's fantastic.
And then like, gosh, like, I mean, as a parent, my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how...
Like, they get the phone call and she just screams.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
And she barely bats an eyelash. And it's not like... And this is just... Her performance is so amazing that you realize that it's not that she's just completely ambivalent to it, not out of, like, malice. It's just that I don't think her consequences don't register to her.
Yeah.
Which I don't think for a lot of people like that, they don't register. It's just like, no, it's about, I got to get, you don't understand. I have a goal here. Yeah. I'm driven.
And that's what's
I'm
important.
Ambitious. Yeah. And so you should that's something I should be proud of.
Yes.
And I'm just working really hard here. That's
all
I'm doing.
And I just don't, have time. It doesn't, I mean, this is not, your emotions are not part of my goal. So
I mean, it get out of the way.
Yeah.
So did Jensen. He had his
Yeah. So wow, thank you, Xenomorph, for explaining that. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. And xenomorphs, they are meant to be they were designed. There's definitely a very sexual element of the alien xenomorph.
Yep.
Yep.
And with all of Giga's work.
Yeah, heads look like giant dongalongs. I was cracking up at Joaquin's dancing. Yeah, the thing is,
His performance in this is amazing.
The amount, and we got to look up how old was he because
I don't know.
Because the total lack of self-consciousness.
Oh, and he does some when he's beaten off to
Absolutely. And it's just
Weatherman thing or
gosh, that's just that person alone having that moment.
Yeah.
And to be doing that at 19 or whatever. Torian!
He was 21.
It's amazing.
21.
I mean,
years
it's crazy to watch her, watch the film Her, and see him in that, and then see him, you're like, oh, you're his weird.
Oh, yeah, I know,
brother.
yeah.
Because you're like a little kid brother to that guy. Thank you, dude. Oh, sweet, Xenomorph. Torian, thank you for this 20 months of unbelievable support, my friend. Thank you, dude. I didn't think he looked 40 in this. This was man.
He looked young in this one.
Gosh,
he has looked.
What a striking look too. He hit that reveal of his face. I was like, ah,
yeah,
that kid.
He
intense.
And they just towed the line between such tragedy with his character,
absolutely,
and yet there are moments when he is she'll be like, "What do you think about that?" And he'll be like,
yeah,
and he's just this sex obsessed teenager, and it doesn't, and it's a tragedy what happens to him and how he processes it, but he has no ambitions beyond wanting to be complimented for having a big penis, and that's just who that's when they are in the junkyard and they are just smashing the car. I was just like, that's it.
I mean, that's the thing. When she puts the camera on him, he stares for 40 seconds and goes, apparently I own it, though. I just asked my wife if she's seen it. It's on your iTunes. Ah. Yeah,
you should watch it.
It's fantastic.
It's really good.
It's really great, especially if you like... hold on. Gosh, okay. We're all over the place, but hold on. Sorry. Torian, thank you for those 20 months. Thank you so much. Xenomorph, if you'd like to share your art, we have a Discord. You're going to hit exclamation point Discord, or I'll just do it. And we've got a creative channel where you can share art.
What did this movie remind you of?
So
a modern movie.
Immediately.
Okay.
Once she started talking, I went, this is Reese Witherspoon in an Election, which came later.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I am now a little, I mean, not really, but a little less
you were
impressed by her.
Sure.
Because then I read that she looked to this for inspiration.
Really?
Which sure. Now they're vastly different characters.
Yeah.
Election, by the way. Election? It's one of my favorite films of all time.
Yeah, it's
that
amazing.
movie's fantastic.
Yeah.
If you like Election, so there were a couple of movies that were listed that you might like if you like this movie. Election is one of them. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as dark because no one dies. It's dark
in its own way. It's dark and it's
so beautifully subversive. I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it so much. Also, the movie, I was wearing this shirt maybe the last time we did this. Serial Mom. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I haven't.
Very much like Serial Mom. Although Serial Mom is ridiculous. Serial Mom.
Does it have talking to camera and stuff like that, or?
I can't remember. I don't think so. It's John Waters, but it's not eating crap John Waters, which I haven't seen Pink Flamingos, but it's not trying to
push the
envelopes of taste. John Waters.
Yeah.
It's Serial Mom is his most kind of packaged. Well, that's not true. Again, as I said this last time, but it's Crybaby is and Hairspray is, but it's his most I guess viewer friendly or just mainstream-ish subversive movie. It's a big silly comedy about a mother. It's based on there was it happened in Texas. There was a mother of a cheerleader who started killing her daughter's competitors, or like her daughter's rivals. And there was another movie that came out about it called The Positively True Adventures of the Alleged Texas Cheerleader Murdering Mom.
So it's wow.
I mean,
is it inspired by a true story?
It's inspired by a true story, but then completely taken off
right.
and like done like.
Which is the same thing with this movie.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Who is the
Patricia Smart? Patty Smart,
who hired a teenager to kill her husband.
Allegedly, convinced her 15-year-old lover to kill her husband, who also bought her a dog.
Okay.
Whatever. But like, I looked it up and it was like she was like volunteer. She was a media teacher at a high school, and then she ended up volunteering for an organization that this kid volunteered for as well. And then she kind of drew him and like 4 or 5 other kids into this ring. And then there was one girl involved, and they were kind of like, they killed him, and she went to jail for it. And she maintains that, like, she's there. She's still there. I think the boy who killed him has now, I think, been paroled. And I think he may be out on parole, and she's in there in jail and was like, she maintains that,
How long was he in prison for?
He got life, but then he got
He's
like good
15?
behavior. Yeah. That's one of the most like tragic things. Like when he goes,
that is so tragic. Like it's such a difficult. Like I wouldn't begin to say that I would know what to do, how to vote in that situation. But I mean, when you're 15, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about anything about anything.
And I mean, like they do such a good, quick but speaking volumes job of like showing how these kids are just so mistreated and not like no one shows them love. No one Casey Affleck gets smacked by his dad, and that's like the one interaction you see with that. Like Joaquin Phoenix, you just get this. It's like these are kids who have no one,
nothing and no one.
They don't have any. But really
like nothing basically. And no one.
Exactly.
And because of that, no future, no.
Yeah, and no aspirations, and they're just, I don't know, like it's tragic. And then like he's like, there are times I love Joaquin Phoenix's performance is riveting. And Nicole Kidman, those are the two like performances in this movie that are just bolts of lightning that I just cannot look away
without question.
Like, oh my gosh. Like Nicole Kidman, there was a moment where, gosh, I can't even remember what part it is, but I was like watching her just like, and the camera does this liberally. There are times where like someone else is speaking and it just stays there.
Oh, dude, when the sister is talking about how she got the big ice skating job, and it just holds on Nicole Kidman, who is so upset that she is no longer the center of attention in this conversation. And the way she performs that scene with just the way her face she says not a word. And I laughed because I was like, I was like so taken aback. I was like, that's so good. Yeah. It was so good.
It's amazing. I have not seen Pink Flamingos. Rosenberg watched this in prep for Gone Girl. Absolutely, the mom watching Digital Lies. Yeah, there's like I was watching, but what's the?
I guarantee. So this movie reminded me instantly of I, Tonya.
Oh, sure.
In terms of not only the narrative structure and the documentary format, but I was like, I'm sure that what's her name probably watched this as well before playing Tonya Harding.
I thought, I did think of that as well. I thought of that.
And it's funny that you mentioned Election because I really liked I, Tonya, and then afterward I was like, oh, you guys owe an incredible amount to this movie, to the point that I was like, I don't like it less, but I was just like, it certainly took a lot of the originality that I had put on I, Tonya, and I was like, oh, because they lifted it. It seemed like,
I mean,
format, because they interviewed them documentary format in their homes. It has all that trailer parky type vibe and everything, and like it's heavily influenced by it.
Sure, Nicole Kidman's face deserves an Oscar. Absolutely, man. Like that, yeah. And I think what's interesting, especially all the direct camera stuff, is all of it. Her entire performance.
It's stunning.
There is a millisecond, a half a quarter of a millisecond where she answers the door to the girl and her Australian accent comes out for a second.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, there it is! And I rewound and watched it again. I was like, oh, okay, but my gosh. The thing is, what's interesting is that, yes, absolutely. I forgot about the fact that Tanya has those interviews, and it does have this very kind of like, it has sort of like a different energy though, because
it's that by way of like a Scorsese movie. It feels like
absolutely, definitely true. And it's interesting because it has like, yes, Tanya owes the. I mean, it's very much like the structure and all that. And then I feel like Election. It's like if you put Tracy Flick into Tanya, you get this movie, essentially. But again, Tracy Flick is a different character. This is Nightcrawler was a very, I didn't think of that, but that's a great comparison.
Yeah, that's a great pairing.
I mean, that's
for
fantastic.
Sure. That would be a great double feature.
I just want to put them on a shirt together. They're fantastic.
Oh, that would be so cool to put them in a movie together.
But what is the, gosh darn it, like there's a specific time. It's
I mean, when she comes out of the doorway and the light hits her face and she sees all those news reporters after her husband's death, and her eyes light up to the point where she's just like, and she's it's all in slow-mo, and she just very subtly like, I'm fixing my hair. And she never oversteps it.
No.
She plays it fucking beautifully.
It is, that is like like I would show, this is the definition of like entrancing performance, of mesmerizing performance.
And I've always loved her, but I've always just been. It's kind of the way I look at Meryl Streep, where I'm just like, yeah, you never are gonna let anyone down with your performance. Absolutely. You're just a consummate professional.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. I've never really seen anything Meryl Streep's done that I walk away where I'm like, holy shit! Did you see what she just did there?
I have, but it's different.
Just so I know, because I'm not well versed in Meryl Streep, so I'm always looking for. You know what? I did see Kramer versus Kramer. She was very good in that.
I think she just. I think I go into every movie going like, all right, be phenomenal again, and she just is. I go,
she is.
I go, be as real as
she
possible.
is.
No.
Yeah.
And I think like The Post, she got me. Adaptation, I was just surprised that she could be so incredibly funny.
Yeah.
Which is like, that sounds weird to say, that I'm just like,
but it's not,
it was a great performance because she's funny, but like no.
But being funny on camera
grounded.
and being in inherently like where it's in your DNA and you're not telling jokes on camera, but your performance is funny, that is way harder to do than drama. It is. It's incredibly difficult to do a humorous performance in a very real way.
And that's it. And that's it. It's like, because you have two responsibilities. You have responsibility to the truth, and then also, you can choose to take on the responsibility of telling the joke or making the joke work. And you gotta find a way to make the joke work and also be entirely 100% true and not strike a false note. And the thing with her in this, my goodness. It's the kind of performance where if it was a hair to the left or a hair to the right, you would see the performer.
Yeah.
And you would see and this is what it is. It's kind of in the eyes. You see the performer aware of the camera.
Yeah.
And it's really funny to say it, but in this movie, in which the character is constantly aware of the camera, Nicole Kidman, the actress, is never once aware of the camera, and it is amazing. Because she is right up to the razor's edge of how intensely focused and big and everything you can be, while still being 3,000% grounded in absolute unerring reality. I mean, it is breathtaking. It is one of the greatest performances I think I've ever seen in my life. And it is a effing travesty that there was not one Oscar nomination for this film. Not a single one.
This is why awards do not matter.
If this movie came out this year, it would be a frontrunner for an Oscar.
Yeah.
Like, no question.
But you know what's crazy is Jake Gyllenhaal not getting nominated for Nightcrawler. Performance of his career. Of a lifetime. Like, it is... You would be so great. Like, I watched that and I was like, you are an amazing actor and you are constantly in amazing projects, and I don't think you're ever going to top that. And I think he even said it. He was just like, it was hard to end this movie because it was hard to say goodbye to this guy, even though he was really twisted. Yeah. I was just like, I knew it was a rare one.
There's no way to say this without sound. I think that performance is is virtuosic. It is like masterful to the point of being music.
Yeah.
I think I can understand if you're going to give, which you don't have to, if you're going to give an Oscar to either him or the writing, I understand giving it to the writing.
Did they give it to the writing?
They nominated. Yeah, they gave it. Was he nominated for acting?
No.
You're saying he was not.
He was not nominated.
At all?
That's what
crazy.
I'm saying.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now they gave it to because Oscar wins. It's like whatever.
But that's that thing where they're just like, well, we're not going to give you Best Picture, we're not going to give you anything, but we'll get you you're too good in original.
Too small, yeah.
So we're going to give you, hey, Pulp Fiction, we're going to give you Best Screenplay.
Yeah.
Hey, I just feel like they do it every year.
No, Moonlight won.
Moonlight won.
Hey,
but they almost didn't.
Moonlight is the one that would have got is that sort of thing. Yeah. Hey, yeah. I mean, I to Die For would have been is a poster is I mean it's almost a poster child for that kind of movie.
Yeah. Jake was great in Prisoners and Enemy. Those are two of his best performances.
Oh, yeah.
Two of my favorite movies.
I've never seen Enemy.
You're gonna love it.
I gotta see it.
It's
I love
Denis Villeneuve. Am I saying it right? Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Back of the throat.
I think so. It's great.
Got it.
Got that strep. Got that strep. The true face of persona is was more stuff. Oh gosh, Jacob Reese.
Yeah.
You got nothing personal. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when there's a moment when she's doing the interview with the white background, and she did. It was early on, and she's talking about something, and then she says, and she's going like a mile a minute, and then she's just like, but not something like that.
Yeah.
And the way she did it, I was just like, I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
I was just like, that is such.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if that's scripted. I don't even care. Like, you made it seem like it was off the cuff, and you made it seem like the character, and and there's little moments like that throughout the whole movie that just she peppers throughout. I was so shocked because I told you this last week. I was just like, this is the thing that made me realize what a good actress she was, and then I watched it again. I'm like, oh,
it is.
Wow,
it is a.
It's one of the best things I've ever seen.
Yeah. In performance, besides that. But in half millisecond, where you hear Australian accent. But it is, it is, I mean, if there's an Oscar winning performance, I mean, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Or at least Oscar nominated performance. I mean, that's a literal travesty.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, well, not, but it's a disaster. It is. Goodness gracious, it's ridiculous. But that movie, she's like, that's what was interesting. And actually, I think that at that point is where I was kind of like, oh, this is very Tracy Flick, because it goes off into other directions. Mm-hmm. But it's very much the interview, and she's going because she's a little more ethnic, and it's like I was like, yeah. You said that, and I forgot that. Like, for a moment, she was like very racist. Like, she was just like
terrible
very casually racist.
She's a terrible human being.
I was like, okay.
But, and like even things where like when she's giving the news or the weather report and it's her first time and at the very end she's like racing through it at like hyper speed and they're watching it in the bar and she's speaking really really fast because she's so excited and she's just kind of racing to the end. It was just, there's something about it where you could tell she's like, oh, she's nervous. This is her first time. She's just really energetic, but it's full of confidence at the same time. And it was just a bunch of different things. And she sold it. Yeah. She just sold it completely. And then everybody, it finishes. And like Matt Dillon's just like, come on, give it up for her.
Yeah.
And then I just love that there's two guys at a table who had turned around and they look at each other and like,
I didn't see that.
And they just go back to eating because they're like, it was a weather. It's a weather report.
That's really awesome. Yeah, Matt Dillon.
He's great in playing like an utter.
That's what he like.
Doofusy. Which he's so he doesn't get enough credit because he's so good in so many things.
But occasionally he is that guy. Periodically they're just like, oh, we need a good-natured, likable idiot.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, Matt Dillon.
Yeah.
Which is not fair.
It's not fair because he's a dumb guy. I mean, I saw.
Goes, oh yeah, he's a big idiot. I'm a big stupid guy.
Yeah. And he's so because I saw a little bit of who's the Danish filmmaker?
Haneke?
No, darker. Von Trier. Is he Danish?
Oh, you're talking about that serial killer
Lars
movie.
von Trier. So
Yeah.
Jack went up the hill, or Jack built.
Yeah, something like that.
Jack built a house. I can't remember.
The house Jack built.
The house that Jack built.
Yeah.
About
that
a serial
trailer,
killer.
I was like, whoa!
I started it and I was like, because I love Lars von Trier, even his crazy batshit stuff. Like I think that dude's probably the truest artist you could hope to have as a filmmaker.
I definitely was thinking something about Mary as well in Black.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love those. No, man, yeah.
But his stuff's really dark, and apparently this one's even, because I saw Nymphomaniac and it's all super dark, but it's all very, like, he's just after something very specific, and he always gets it, and he does it in a way that I'm constantly just left. I'm glad that you're out there doing what you're doing, to explore that dark. I would not want to be you as a human. It sounds insufferable. Yeah. But
because I've not seen Lars von Trier, but I'm certainly obviously aware of him, and his films. But I said Haneke, and you said darker, and I went, Gubba. Yeah. There's darker than Michael Haneke?
Watch Dancer in the Dark with who's it? Bjork, and I can't think of a sadder movie and a darker movie and a more mean movie than that. But it's truly artful and artistic. And anyways, Matt Dillon's in this new movie where he plays a serial killer, and I got about 20 minutes in, and I was like, I can't do this. But I could tell that he was giving. I was like, it sucks that that movie came with such connotations attributed to it, because I could tell he was delivering something like truly special.
Connotations, what do you mean?
It came with a lot of baggage right out of the gate, media-wise, about, all his movies do
to women,
that, and just violence in general, and violence for the sake of violence. I'm like, he's exploring, I haven't seen all of it, but...
Subscription! Thank you so much, Sig Epic! Thank you for that Twitch Prime sub, my friend. Lots and lots of love. Thank you very much for your support. How are you? Good to see you.
Anyways, he's a good actor.
He's a good actor.
And he's good in this.
But yeah, so this is way back. So again, back to that scene where the cops are in the house. They've discovered he's dead. They've informed the family. They've informed everyone. There's this pan of every member of the family, and it kind of passes a TV that is on its this concludes our broadcast day kind of thing. I don't even know if TVs do that anymore. And it's waving a black and white American flag, and then it's what a beauty, Gus Van Sant is amazing, and I mean he's crafting this with such glee, but such an acute artistic and inspired eye. I mean, it's great, and it plays the Star Spangled Banner tremendously loudly as it goes into slow motion, and she walks out, and then she realizes that outside, and they go, "You don't have to talk to them," and she goes, and then she's like, "This is the beginning," and goes out. There are flash bulbs going off, and she's talking to the media, and then everything is a swell of the national anthem, and then she's coming out of the courtherhouse. She's looking at people,
accusing her of killing her husband,
and she looks, and we hear. On her face, they show them, they show her face, and they're going, did you kill your husband, something, and then it cuts back to them from her POV.
Yeah.
Just clapping.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And
it's so amazing.
So great. Really, really, truly amazing. 19 months! Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for those 19 months, dude. Lots of love. Yeah, gosh. I mean, just so much. I'm just gonna start going down my list of stuff because I'm not gonna remember stuff. But yeah, yeah. It's that part. I mean, it's the part where she decides. Gosh darn it! Where it's right after the part where he goes he's like, I feel sorry for anyone who ever says no to you, Suzanne. And she goes,
yeah.
No one ever does. And then the next scene, Ileana Douglas, by the way, she's so great in this movie. Dan Hedaya is so great in this movie. His sister is Ileana Douglas. I think she's phenomenal. She's, gosh, and you've seen her a million times.
Yeah.
She's so great. Dan Hedaya is great. The guy playing his father. But she talks to her brother, and he's like, she wants to go off and do this thing or whatever, and she wants to, go to California or wherever she wants to move. And she's like, you got to tell her no. So he does, and he's like, no, sit down. We're gonna. And she comes in, and he's like, we got to talk about something. And she goes, I've told you a million times, you get your feet off the thing. And he takes his arm, and he goes, no. And then he puts him back up. And he's like, we're gonna, he puts his foot down, and my goodness. He's telling her about how, like, we got to make sure we got the same priorities. We got to something, and just brilliantly, this literal physical tunnel vision, just like
so good.
And there's just this thing around this. Oh my gosh, this iris of just and it's just like, and then it cuts to her, and then stays on her for like. Not two minutes.
And I kept waiting, and this is what elevates it, is that you're like, you're like, I'm sure her eye's gonna twitch. I kept expecting something, and I would be like, but that would be too easy, and she doesn't, and it's just like you can see her eye twitching without her eye twitching, like
absolutely. And she just is my good. Like what blew me away. And this is what it is, man. Like, it's not just this; it's everything, because the entire thing is there. The entire fully fleshed human being, all of the emotions are 100% genuine. Everything is there. It's a full performance. But at the same time, and this is what I am convinced makes like a true movie star. She doesn't give any of that up. Doesn't give up any of that authenticity. Mm-hmm. She has such control of her face and what she's doing, and it fits the character. And there are just moments in this film where she's like, she's just kind of going, and then going, I can't do it, and she's just like, and then like she just does things, and it just goes, and you're just like, what?
Like what so incredibly calculated.
Yes, and I was like, I could watch. Because it's as he's telling her all this stuff, he's like, we're doing this, he's laying down the law, and it is effing this close on her face. And I'm like, I could stay here for the length of another 2 movies and just watch emotions flash across her face. And I would not for a second be bored or comfortable.
Yeah.
And it is amazing.
I
just go and she gets to a point where it's just like and you're watching everything. I go oh and then her eyes go down and you go, and her eyes go up and you go she's amazing. It's
you see her thought process so clearly. When the sisters, I think it's in the same scene where she's talking about her job and she's Nicole Kidman's looking at her and she just goes like this. She goes,
yeah.
But it's in a weird that's too much.
Yeah, I know.
But she's going like this. She goes,
yeah.
And her eyes just go up and look her up and down. Yeah. And I just was I kept laughing because I was like, that is so good.
It's perfect. And that's it. And that because a lot of times, right, you take a lesser actor and be like, all right, listen to this person like you don't like him, and they'll go, like, listen to your sister-in-law. Your sister-in-law's talking to you. You hate her. Look at her and listen to her. And they would go,
yeah.
And you go, no, you would never do that in real life. It's your sister-in-law, you moron. You have to, as an actor, convey that to the audience while being a character who 100% believes they are not conveying anything of what they're hiding. And Nicole Kidman just nails it. It is flabbergasting. It is incredible. One thing I didn't get is when she gets married, kisses Clarence Boddicker, which will never find a man like you, Daddy. And she gets into, he goes, what?
It's so funny.
It becomes, that's so funny that you call him Clarence Boddicker and I didn't even notice. I was like, yeah, Clarence Boddicker. Yeah, Kurtwood Smith. Yeah, because I was about to say he turns into Clarence Boddicker for a second. He actually turns into like Red Foreman or whatever.
Yeah. But it is, because he's just like, what?
What? It's so audibly. It's so great. Yeah, it's just, I mean, like, that was a very interesting moment. And like, you kind of go like, is that a tiny iceberg tip hint of what her glitch is? Like,
I felt like it was tipping into something or dipping its toe into something, and then immediately being like, but we're not going to go down that road by his reaction. It was like, we're going to touch on this real quick, and then he's going to go, what does that have to do with anything?
It's so interesting. So funny because like you just go like, oh man, like, because it does kind of hint at some sort of whatever, but then even you, the dad is like, what is that?
Yeah, what'd she say?
Is she a weirdo? Is my daughter a weirdo? Yeah, like it's very, very. That is great. The movie brushed past it like she did when Lydia revealed she. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you, and she's just like, well, you know what you got to do? And when she plays that scene, it's all about her, like, all my comments are just about her performance, because, like, when they're in the mall, and she's saying that she got molested, and then Nicole Kidman is just like, well, you know what you got to do?
Yeah.
And she's eating the entire, she's just like, you just have to bury that down.
Yeah, right.
And just lock it away in a part of your brain, and never revisit it.
Yeah. Because it doesn't serve you, right? I mean,
and it's like, but what made it genuine, and
she believes that. That's what she would do.
What any good actor would just be like, and as her character, she's like, I fully believe that this is the right advice to be giving, because that's only going to make you a weak person. Yeah. You got to be a strong person.
Yeah, man. Goodness gracious. I don't even know who that actress was.
I don't.
She's great.
I was like...
Those three kids?
For half a second, I was like, that's not Jennifer Jason Lee. And I was like... I knew it wasn't.
It looks like her, though. Right.
But it had similar facial features.
Yeah. The three kids are all really... Allison Folland. That's who that is.
What else is she in? She was very good.
Yeah, those three kids are great.
Yeah.
It just so happens two of them are Casey Affleck and effing Joaquin Phoenix, but like that was...
It really put it all in perspective as to how... I thought Casey Affleck's first performance was in Good Will Hunting.
So did I.
And so knowing he was in this, I was like, oh, that's how all that happened.
And it literally is. Did you?
No, I don't.
Because I was wanting to say, and Casey Affleck, by the way, is fantastic in this film.
He's great.
So great.
He's always great.
Yeah, both of those kids are like all three of them really, but Casey and Joaquin Phoenix especially, like, is again so unself-conscious, because as an actor, even playing someone, there is a temptation as an actor playing someone who is very, very distasteful or racist or something, especially if it's alive or something, but or playing someone who is very stupid. There is a temptation somewhere, especially if it's your debut. Right, which it is. I mean, he is in other stuff, but this is his breakout or whatever. There is a temptation to hint to the audience, like on some subconscious level, like this is not me.
Yeah,
I'm not me. I'm not this person.
Yeah,
that is. I do not see that anywhere in Joaquin Phoenix.
It is a very unselfish performance.
Because it's crazy going back and watching this, knowing the breadth and body of his work, and you know the different, like watching her and watching this is ridiculous. But watching this, like, if I did not know who he was, I would go, they just really found an idiot kid on a trash pile and put him in a movie. I mean, that's really horrible to say, but like,
where are you from? Trash pile.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, this poor kid, just like, gosh darn it. And
I don't know why I thought that he got better as he aged, because clearly he's just been like, what else
first time I ever saw him? Oh, good.
No, you go ahead.
First time I saw him was Gladiator.
Me too.
And I was like, oh, cool. But it was kind of scenery chewing a little bit. It was.
I rewatched that recently. He's very good in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great movie. I love that movie. It is the best in terms of blockbuster, Hollywood blockbuster epics.
I remember going to watch that movie and like leaving it and going like, and people were like, Gladiator's awesome. I was like, sweet. And I was like, he fights tigers. I was like, cool. And I went and I was like, he sure fought tigers. And like, it was like, sure, like rousing and whatever. And I was like, it's a good, dumb Braveheart. It is. And then it won Best Picture. And I was like, hold your stupid horses. Cause it's good. It's very solid. It's like a really good action movie, I feel like.
Yeah.
But,
well, I mean,
Braveheart
I'm not saying it deserved Best Picture, but I'm just saying it didn't surprise me that it won, because I'm like, it's Spartacus. It's everything. It's a sword and sandal epic that Hollywood loves, because Hollywood's the only place that you can pull that shit off and deliver it. And they're like, look what we made. No one can do this except us.
Yeah.
Like,
I love Ridley Scott. I love Scott.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And it's one of his best movies. It truly is. But it's within a formula, and it does it to an insanely well degree. It's not a poor man's Braveheart. It's just Braveheart in sandals.
I feel like
It has as much. It does not have as much of an emotional wallop as Braveheart does, but few things really do. But it's good. It's really good.
It is. I think it is fun. I think it is fun. It's super fun.
This guy probably wanted Traffic to win that year. Which it should have, because Traffic is great.
Man, remember Topher Grace in Traffic?
What is his, like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Topher Grace is like one of those guys where you're like...
Yeah, he had a line. He's good in it.
Yeah.
I love Traffic. It's great.
Yeah. One weird thing for me was how I was slightly taken aback by how blunt and cold she became post-death with the kids, even though I knew she was a sociopath from the start. She had been feigning a good nature for so long that I didn't buy into it. I guess I was numbed by it. Nah, man, yeah, I didn't have a problem buying it. I was like, she just is done. She got what she wanted.
Yeah. They're of no use to her anymore, so it's just the switch personality-wise flips where she's just like, you don't have anything to offer me now, so now you're just those annoying kids who I initially saw you as.
I mean, it's like, oh, my hammer's talking to me. Get out of here. Hey, I bought a hammer.
That's right.
I used it. Why are you, that's all get out of here, hammer.
What a great analogy.
Thanks.
It wasn't.
But that's the thing, and that's the thing, right? That's the thing they say about sociopaths and psychopaths is they are almost preternaturally able to kind of feign interest and charm and sort of be very, very, very like magnetic. The danger is that
once you give them what they want,
there's not a heart there. That's not true. I think that's not fair. I mean, sociopaths and psychopaths are people who I don't know, have been through trauma or have been numbed.
But they are filling a massive void, and there's a void there.
Sure. Really wants to do Gladiator 2? Okay.
Oh, God.
Return to bed. I was surprised she was behaving when it was It was a different mode as the mask was lowered. Yeah, Topher Grace was the best Venom. I just don't even want to talk about it.
Remember Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, it's my favorite of the Sam Raimi's.
Is it really?
Yep.
I don't even know who I'm talking to today.
Because
I don't even know.
Here's the one. Here's the thing.
Let me guess. You don't like Spider-Man 2?
Definitely not.
Definitely not?
Well, I don't remember it
It's
much.
the best comic book movie.
That's what a lot of people say.
It's true. Oh, definitely not.
Well,
I gotta go.
No, I just like the third one because it's... Sorry, I love Sam Raimi.
Wait, you hate the second one, but you love the third one?
No, I don't love it. No, it's just the only one that I wasn't bored in. Because I was like, and here's, it's sadistic, it's really kind of mean. Because like I knew how much, look, I don't begrudge people liking those movies. I'm glad people like them. I'm glad people like anything. it's these movies, they can't see you, man. They're not going to... I see you looking over there for help. No, look,
I'm just waiting for the condescending sentence to drop where you're like, hey man, I love that people love what they want to love, except, it's just that, like, people love shit, like, you love Gladiator.
No!
You know what? I like what I like, alright?
Look, man,
what did you like about Spider-Man 3?
It felt Sam, it was... silly.
Was it the slow motion running scene of her in the wedding dress that did it for you?
No, I don't remember anything about any of those movies. I just remember that it felt ridiculous, and I was like, well, at least this is entertaining, and at least it feels a little more like.
Wait, you weren't entertained in Spider-Man 2?
No.
Oh, jeez, was it this?
Sorry.
Was it this thing?
Well, that part of it, like when he was like, and I felt people around me in the world going, I was like, yeah! That was very sadistic.
I think you are a sociopath.
It's fair. I just look. I love Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi's great. Sam Raimi is great.
Yeah.
It's just like he's like Peter Parker, and then he jumps off a thing, and then it turns into like a video game, and then I just go like, okay, wake me up when it's not a...
Man.
I know, I'm sorry. Which one's the one with Sandman? Third one?
Yeah.
I like Sandman.
Yeah, because it was Sandman, and then they the studio made him bring in Venom.
Yeah.
By the end there, yeah.
Sam Raimi didn't want to. Yeah, sure. Yeah. No,
yeah.
I don't. Look, by no means am I saying Spider-Man 3 is like awesome. I just think it's. I just said it's my favorite of the three.
All right. Well,
which is that's
that it?
You know how
it's
like
out there now.
You know how I know. You know how they're like, because I've got these opinions that I'm like, well, if I really want to make people angry, I've got these like, because for instance like Dark Knight Rises is my favorite Batman, and then people go like, what? You're insane. And then there are 3 levels. It's that, and people go, huh? And then I'm not I'm really glad that people have gotten all. I'm not trying to be condescending.
The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
I couldn't care less. Sorry, glad people love it. And then people go, huh? I can't even talk to you.
Is it big budget stuff in general that you don't like?
No, I mean like.
What's a good like really mega budget movie that you
really
like?
CG heavy?
Like just like a Hollywood movie. Like a Hollywood action movie that you really love.
I mean, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, or
no, that doesn't count.
I do love that.
I know you do.
Okay,
but that's not.
You mean recent?
Yeah, I get. Well, I get. Yeah, okay, yeah. Let's go recent.
I mean, like Iron Man's great.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like the Marvel movies are great. Marvel movies are like they do exactly what they want to do, what they need to do, and they get in and get out. It's fine.
I just laughed out loud. Prince of Thieves.
Yeah, Prince of Thieves is great. I know.
It is great, but it's just like. We were looking for a Fast and the Furious, and you were like, "Yeah, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves."
Yeah.
From 1992.
Yeah, exactly. I've not seen Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Lover enjoyed Fury Road, but wasn't blown away by it, so that's bullshit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you didn't like Fury Road.
No, I did not like Fury Road. I did like Fury Road.
Right.
I almost lost my mind when people were like, "Best Picture," and I was like, "Based on what?" Anyway, like,
I mean, it's an incredible movie. It really is.
It's like a. I mean, like
truly.
Like the story's incredible.
Yeah. The story, but more the execution of a very minimalist story.
It's a tremendously technically amazing film. Like the technical achievement of Fury Road is almost
with a very simple
yeah.
Story that they execute to perfection.
Yeah, totally. I would say,
how does that make it a lesser film?
I'm not saying it's a lesser film. I'm just saying like Die Hard is that too.
Right.
I don't think Die Hard should win Best Picture.
Why not?
Because I don't know. I don't know. For me, Best Picture is something that like touches the human soul and elevates the. I mean, you know what I mean?
I know that's what it's considered.
Yeah.
I guess this is a different discussion, but it should. It is weird to me. That's why it's weird that Oscar Beatty pictures are like a whole genre unto themselves, where it's just like you watch something like King's Speech and you're like, well, we know why that was made, or we know why they remade Les Mis, or basically anything by that director, where it's just like he, and he makes really good movies, but I'm like, this is so clearly to win awards. I think because it fact checks all those things that are required to win awards, which is silly. Because Die Hard should win awards. It
should win awards,
but it's also awards mean nothing, which is kind of the whole point in general. Because Die Hard is without question going to outlive King's Speech.
Yeah. Well, King's Speech is not a movie that I was I saw that.
Well, I know, but I mean,
yeah.
Or American Beauty. I love American Beauty. I haven't revisited it because I'm afraid it's probably not going to hold up at all.
Yeah.
And I'm just like Die Hard. Batman '89, these movies are really going to last way longer than any of those that have things to say.
I think Oscar Beatty's stuff is like these giant costume period drama things, right? I would agree that Les Mis was intended that way. There are things that you can
it's a good movie too.
It's great. Yeah. It's great. I like stuff like Cinderella Man, which is great.
It's great.
But it's like, I'm going for that Oscar.
Oh, for sure.
But there's stuff but there's a difference for me between Cinderella Man and The Fighter. The Fighter.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
And The Fighter, by all means, I would Best Picture, yes.
Yeah.
It is, or The Wrestler. These are, that's what I'm saying.
I feel like it's because it's trying, the difference between those two is that, and I think Ron Howard gets accused of this a lot, is the Hollywood script machine conjured this script that is a redemption story told through fights, and it's not so much looking to say anything that you haven't heard before. It's just really trying to go for that emotional aspect, which I have no qualms with.
No, and it's great.
I love Cinderella
but
Man.
It's shiny and neat.
It's shiny and neat and very slick.
And the fighter is not.
And the fighter is the opposite of that. And it's trying to get at something a little deeper in terms of its truth. And this is why it doesn't win, because it's going for something that doesn't fit into a box necessarily, of like, this is what the theme is exactly, and this is what it's trying to say exactly, and this is how it's making you, more importantly, this is how this movie wants you to feel.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, more rewarding art is where it just offers up this stuff, and then it's just like, make what you will of it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't think, because if you compare like something like The Fighter, or something like Raging Bull, right, which is another boxing movie, but that's definitely about the complexity of the human spirit and redemption and complex human beings.
Absolutely.
And just sort of all about opening your heart and your soul, really, truly. Mm-hmm. Like, films like that are what I go, or like, like Dog Day Afternoon, which is a heist movie and a robbery movie, but there are moments in there that are so tender and so human that is what I carry with me, and that's what I love. So something like Fury Road, I go, gosh darn it, that's an incredible fireworks show. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my gosh, you created this structure that is mind-boggling. You built the pyramids.
Yeah.
So great. So I want to give you every pyramid building award. Yeah. But not for me, Best Picture is like, gives me a chance to elevate. Like,
I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I would say Die Hard, and I don't know what the other movie was that we were talking about. Anyway,
I agree with that though. Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. Once Crash won an Oscar, to stop caring. So Crash. Yeah. I mean, like here's
Matt Dillon.
Yeah, Matt Dillon. I thought I did. Here's the deal with Crash. Crash is not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. It is a movie that was like solid, good, had heart, was, very kind of then got nominated, and everyone went, what? And I did the same thing. Yeah. And I was like, no. And in retrospect, what happens to that, and Juno, the same thing happened to Juno. Mm-hmm. Juno is very funny. It's a very good movie. It got nominated for Best Original Screenplay. It won Best Original Screenplay, I believe. And everyone went, no. This was like the cool kid this was like, oh, you're really funny. Come on in. Mm-hmm. And then you made it king, and we were like, no. And then on the other side of that, people were like, Juno's terrible. Yeah. Crash is a piece of shit. And I'm like, no, neither of those things are good. Are true. They're very good films that just got pushed up. It's
just a weird. That's what happened. That's why awards are That's why awards are stupid, because it puts undue amount of weight and importance on a movie that wasn't asking for it in the first place, right. Unless you're like literally making a movie that's like, you clearly made this to win awards, right. And that's unfair. Yeah, that's really unfair. And like, frankly, the past couple, like, I can't really think aside from when No Country for Old Men won, where I was just like, that's a perfect film to me. So I was just like, you could not have gone for a more artistic, yet it fit all the boxes that were acceptable to the Academy, but it was still a daring and original piece, and it explored all this stuff, but it wasn't sentimental or anything like that. Like, I just can't think of another movie within the past 20, I mean, it's 2019, 20 years that, like, really I was just like, it deserved it.
That won, or that was nominated?
That won.
Yeah. No, yeah, the winner is usually... Because
it's like, when Saving Private Ryan didn't win, I was just like... Yeah. And that's an opinion. Wait, I mean, that's the movie that got me into it. But the fact that Shakespeare in Love won over that... Yeah. I think
is a fine film. It's lovely.
It's a fine
nice,
film.
Romantic. It's very sweet.
And then the
it's
fact
clever because they wove in some Shakespeare.
But it almost did it a disservice by saying it Best Picture winner, because everyone's just like, this one Best Picture, absolutely. And that's unfair because it is a good movie.
And it's. I mean, the same thing happened to Marissa Tomei. Like when she won Best Actress, they
rag on her.
Well, they were like, what? Because it's a comedic performance. It's a fantastic performance. I understand why people would be like, what?
Yeah.
Not because there's anything at all. Like, that is a charming, wonderful, for the ages, hilarious performance.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, she is.
Fantastic, doing everything that is asked of her, and more. Mm-hmm. It's a comedic performance.
Yeah.
That doesn't have not that doesn't have a lot of depth, of which not much is asked beyond be very, very funny, which is a lot, but it's not. I mean, it's like
I think more people should get comedic.
Yeah.
Best actor for comedic performances, because I think it's the harder thing to do.
And that's the thing. That's the thing with Juno. Like, Juno, it's like, oh wait, Juno's really funny. Mm-hmm. But if Juno's getting nominated because it's that, and then it has a little bit of depth, then it has a little bit of, like, sweet stuff, and it deals with some stuff, definitely. But, like, it's like, well, then, like, Dumb and Dumber can get nominated. You know what I mean? It's like, and Dumb and Dumber should be nominated.
I think
in certain.
I think Steve Carell should have been nominated for Best Actor in a movie for The Office.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's that good in that role.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely true. What's up, MM7? The Lego commercials with toys are a really great satire. You know what's a real shame? Not the Lego movie, the Lego Batman movie were nominated for Best Animated Film. I really liked. Can't believe Birdman. That's a very strong. What's the heads up? It's Madeline. Life is beautiful. No, but Benini won. You just got got home from work. Yeah. Topher Grace about yeah. Going through the list, there's a lot of aspects which. Yeah. So you hate Birdman? That's interesting. But here's the thing. I was a little disappointed by Birdman. Not disappointed, but I was like, it didn't blow me away like I wanted it to. Although I came.
But it was a movie about show business, and that's why it won. And it's just that, like, it is like that shit plays a significant role. You would not have found a bigger Inarritu fan for his first 4 movies, up to Beautiful, which I also thought was amazing. And I know that a lot of people, including Imbalak, find his movies to be insufferably pretentious. I get it. I understand. But I thought his first 4 movies were just really emotionally raw pieces of filmmaking, and they really struck a chord with me. And then he did Birdman, and then he did Revenant, and he's gone on this. He tried to, like, go in a completely opposite direction, and it's I don't know. It does seem up its own ass a lot of the time. It seems very conscientious of how good it is at any given moment.
You talking about Birdman?
Birdman, Revenant, where they're just trying to outdo. They're just like, look how complicated this is. Yeah. Look how hard it was for this to make.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what, and I know that. But that's what I would say about not Fist of Fury Road.
I think why it works with Fury Road is the fact that it hangs it all on a action premise that's just paper thin, and I think that's why I buy into it, because it's not, that movie's not asking to be. Right. I think that the issues that a lot of people have, myself included, is that Birdman is looking like, you ready? Because roll out the red carpet, because we're about to get all the awards.
Thank you, Red Wolf, for those 3 months of unbelievable support. But I get that.
And the same thing with the Revenant. I'm just like, look how hard this was to make.
Yeah, and I'm not seeing that.
And I'm not saying that they're not trying to make truthful art. I know for, like, Inarritu cares a lot about that, but I do think that dude got like, he got brainwashed a little bit by the I'm an Oscar-winning filmmaker now, and trying to continually top himself in that regard.
But I would say, I understand. I would agree that Birdman, and I'm not, like, again, I walked in really wanting to love Birdman, like, really wanting to, and I came out very impressed by certain aspects of Birdman and enjoying Birdman, but not floored and blown away like I wanted to be for whatever reason. I need to rewatch it. I will agree that it's made very enthusiastically. I will agree that that once they got going with that and kind of heading in that direction with that energy, I think they were like, hey, this is going to probably get nominated. I don't think it could be called, like, formulaic or anything. Like, no. I think it is a very original, interesting thing to try.
I think it's just, there's something different between, like, a Kaufman movie that is so clearly focused on the ideas and what it wants to explore. And I just feel like with Inarritu's last couple of movies, he is exploring interesting stuff. And yet in the back of my mind, I think there's just this thing where and maybe this is just me projecting, but I feel this thing where it's just like, what is the most poetic way I can do this to garner the most accolade type shit.
Interesting.
As opposed to what is the best thing that I can do to tell this story.
So I
don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This is so weird, and this is going to sound very strange because I need to not do this. But I get... Because Iñárritu is 21 grams? Mm-hmm. It's fantastic.
Fantastic.
Babel?
Fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Amores Perros. Unbelievable.
I've not seen that.
Probably his best movie.
Yeah, I've seen that. It is not Y tu mamá también, that's Cuarón. Because Cuarón is... Y tu mamá también is...
Children of Men.
Children of Men.
Roma,
which I need to watch.
Gravity.
And
Great
Great Expectations, which I...
And the Princess Bride. Or no,
Little Princess.
Little Princess.
Little Princess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because like it is strange to me to think, and I think we've talked about this, and I think you brought this up, and I totally agree that like if you look at, I believe Amores Perros from what I know of it, also 21 Grams and Babel. Look at all those movies together. They feel like the same director, in the sense that
fractured narratives.
And very kind of
part of it. It's called his Death trilogy, all around themes of death and rebirth and things of that nature. But
all very handheldy, very kind of like
very handheld,
sort of.
And it works. And like when I say fractured narrative, I mean like fractured, goes back and forth. You never know where you're at, and yet thematically and emotionally it works.
Oh, there definitely is a thing as Oscar bait, such thing as Oscar bait, but I think that's like, like a Merchant Ivory film or something.
Right.
But which like Merchant Ivory films are great.
Yeah. Howard's End.
Yeah. Right. The Remains of the English Patient.
English Patient. Yeah. Which.
I
like it's sumptuous filmmaking. I've watched it a couple of times just because I'm like, boy, is that pretty to look at.
Man, Anthony Minghella, dude, like that was a
blow.
Definitely a loss. Goodness, man. To make an Oscar bait movie about Oscar baiting, it would win all the things.
Yeah. It would.
But I think like I said, we talked about this, and I think you made the point, and I 100% agree that like at some point people were like, "Is that all you can do?" Like shaky cam kind of improv-y stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Watch this!
Yeah.
I'll never cut again." And they were like,
I guarantee he probably said that verbatim. I'll never cut again. Yeah. And if we're gonna cut, we're gonna hide it behind a curtain.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. It's like La La Land on... an Oscar bait movie would be... But I love... Man, La La Land, dude. La La Land is joyous. I love La La Land.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
I loved First Man.
Gosh, I still need to see that. You still need to see Whiplash.
I know.
Is great. It is.
You're not the first. You're not the first person to say it with that type of emphasis.
I mean, and there might be times when you're like, nah, man, no, it's because it's one that like it's one because they're great films. There are great films, and then there are ones like Nightcrawler that go, and they stick, and To Die For, and like stuff like that where it's just like, because they're. Oh, it's good. It's complex.
All right.
It's complex. It's very interesting. But To Die For is not a film that I would like, even though I would say the writing 100% should be nominated and or win. Mm-hmm. Nicole Kidman should be nominated and or win. Joaquin Phoenix should be nominated and or win. I would go so far as to say Ileana Douglas should be nominated at the very least. Mm-hmm. And Dan Hedaya. Mm-hmm. Even Casey Affleck. I mean, those three kids. Mm-hmm. I would say it should be nominated for Best Picture. I would not say it should win, because for my part, if it won, I'd be like, wow, crazy, cool.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things that because the art on display here, the artist, the craftsman's hand, the sharpness of vision, it just knows. It's such a smart film, and I love this kind of film, like Election, like I mean, yeah, like Nightcrawler, it's just these great biting satires that never show their hand. They're just so great. But it doesn't have that sort of uplifting heart thing.
That's what's so like.
But
this is a crazy, amazing movie.
It is,
and it would never be considered to win. It might, like, on a once in a blue moon, might it get nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
But it's just weird. Isn't that weird that we're so conditioned to be like, oh, this could never win Best Picture because this isn't Best Picture material, which is stupid. That's a stupid thing to think.
Yeah.
And we all think it.
You watched Midnight Express last night? Goodness gracious. I mean, editing was also... Everything was great.
Oh, the editing is phenomenal. Yeah.
I mean, but these are...
so well... Like, the first 20 minutes, we're just bouncing around.
Yeah.
And you're just all over the place. And they're cutting back to scenes and going back. And then they're replaying scenes from before to explain what just happened. And you're just like... And that first half hour, in terms of just sheer editing, is incredibly impressive.
And I love that, gosh, and from the very first thing, Spider-Verse for Best Picture... where it's just like the reporter's legs and then one falls down and gets trampled under.
Yeah.
It's in a second, like, just a visual representation of the theme. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. The editing reminded you of a Fincher movie. Yeah.
Yeah. And like all the newspaper clippings and zooming into just the dots.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that's why
There's a title sequence credit, so someone just like conceived of the whole
thing. I think I'm just so preternaturally I always lean more towards movies that were either made pre-2000 or take place pre-2000, because you get stuff like that, newspaper prints and the photos that were taken at the time, and you zoom in on them and you see all the dots and everything, and everybody's using rotary phones, or you can't just get away with just talking on a cell phone. You got to go to a payphone. Yeah. Like, everything is just way more cinematic because you don't have everything here in your phone where that you can do almost anything. Yeah. I hate it when people just use their cell phones in movies. I hate it. I really do. Even if they're just talking on them, I'm like, go to a payphone. Go do or meet at a coffee shop.
Yeah. Spider-Man's the best supporting Nick Cage's Spider-Man. Yeah. Or John Mulaney. It can get weirder. Gosh, I love Mulaney. Oh, well, sorry. Rewind to what we were saying. But so we were talking about Joaquin Phoenix and Casey Affleck. Casey Affleck, this is his... I think his debut.
Is it?
I think it's his debut. And I was like, and I saw him here, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize that he was acting way back then. I thought he was kind of a, no disrespect, but I thought he was a tag along on Good Will Hunting, he kind of stood out there. He's great.
He did. He's great in it.
Love him in that movie. He's basically comic relief, comic sidekick kind of thing, but he stands out. And then kind of toiled away, did stuff like Drowning Mona, and eventually got up to Gone Baby Gone and whatever, and boom, 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 which, his brother. And I was like, I didn't realize he was acting back then. Turns out he beat out Ben Affleck and Matt Damon for that role. And after playing this role, after either on set or after working with Van Sant on this film, he gave Van Sant the Good Will Hunting script, which blew my mind.
So that's how it happened. Oh, so really, Casey Affleck, they owe Casey Affleck everything.
I know, it's crazy.
Wow.
I know. It really. I kind of went like, it was a thing for me.
That is wild, and it makes. Oh, that's wild.
I know.
And it's just crazy because then they went on and they surpassed him for 10 years.
And then he came back.
And then he came back.
Oh, cool. He, he kind of came on for whatever. It was like, no, man. He was there right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And he made the whole thing happen.
And he never had to do Paycheck or Daredevil or.
Yeah.
What did he do right before Jesse James? Because that's when he started going up again.
Gosh,
he popped back up on the radar.
He's done a couple of
because his performance as Jesse James is just.
Was that before Jesse? Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Gosh, I love that movie.
It's one of
we haven't done that movie yet. We have to do it right now. We're doing that. We're doing it tomorrow. We're doing it right now. Let's go watch it. Gosh,
we're gonna do a
whole month.
We'll do a whole month on West
that movie.
On that movie. Fine by me. Fine by me.
So much. Gosh, that's the most perfect film of the last,
Without question.
since 2000.
I would say the past 25 years.
Yeah. Gosh darn it.
It's without
really,
question the best thing I've seen.
Yeah. I mean, there have since been, because there are others like Nightcrawler, like Steve Jobs. I love Steve Jobs. I talk about it all the time. I love Steve Jobs. I love it so much. Help. I just love it. Shout out to Roger Deakins, the big Dink. Yeah.
Who didn't win for that, which is just ridiculous.
Oh, excuse me. Have you heard the story about how Matt and Ben planted a scene in the Good Will Hunting script where Robin Williams' character starts giving Matthew a blowjob test to see who actually read it? Apparently, Harvey Weinstein is the only one who. That's interesting. No, I've not heard that story, but now I have heard about Ben Affleck's first film he directed. Yeah, someone posted the title of it, and I was like, "That's ridiculous."
Wait, what did he direct before Gone Baby Gone?
It's not gonna. You're not. It's gonna. Yep.
What?
Here we go.
Did he get released?
It's like a joke thing. I don't know what, but it's just on there, and I don't know anything about it. No, it's not a meme.
Is it a real movie?
It's a real movie.
Really?
Apparently.
Do you know what M. Night Shyamalan's first movie was?
No.
It's like a Rosie O'Donnell movie.
Oh, it's Exit to Eden? Am I wrong about that? Is it the Whips and Chains movie?
No, it's like a movie. I've only seen the cover of it. It's Rosie O'Donnell, and she's she's holding two kids by their ankles, and she's like this. She's like, meh.
Oh. But the thing is, like, both kids are ghosts.
Dude!
Sorry! I'm very sorry. I should have.
Jeez.
We're
just both on our phones now.
Yeah. Here we go. This is his, right before Gone Baby Gone, he directed, I killed my lesbian wife, hung her on a meat hook, and now I have a 3-picture deal at Disney. But it's a short film. Yep, I don't know.
It's good because the title's long.
Casey Affleck. Oh, yeah, man. Gosh, man.
Oh, he did 2 movies before Sixth Sense. Yeah, this Rosie O'Donnell movie is called Wide Awake.
Oh, I've seen that.
You have?
No, I mean, I've seen that cover.
Yeah.
I remember walking through Blockbuster sometimes.
So this is M. Night Shyamalan's...
What was the movie from Filmography? Oh, that's a good indicator that we haven't been talking about it enough. Hey, what's the movie for this episode? To Die For. To Die For.
To Die For, starring Nicole Kidman. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
if you haven't seen it, watch it.
Hold on. Well, let's see what Casey Affleck was.
Oh, one of my... I'm going to say it so I don't forget it.
Yeah, please do.
Another really great moment that really highlighted her narcissism was at the funeral. She puts the boombox...
Oh, I love that so much!
She puts the boombox on his grave and plays All By Myself.
All by myself. And then it pans over to the priest.
That's what makes the scene. It's not that joke. It's the reaction by everyone in the crowd to that joke because everyone is just going like this.
Yeah, it's so great.
All right.
Okay.
It's so good.
Yeah, he's in 2 weeks.
Also, Wayne Knight.
Oh yeah.
Newman.
Yeah.
Anytime he shows up in a movie from the 90s, I'm just like, thank you.
Yeah.
He is so good.
Yeah.
He is such a good actor. I mean, he really is an incredible actor.
Oh yeah. A couple movies I never saw. Gosh, I love. So Casey Affleck's filmography was a movie called Lemon Sky that looks to star Kevin Bacon as a guy named Jerry. He played Robert Kennedy from ages 12 to 15 in 1990. To Die For was really his first film as an adult or semi-adult. So a movie called Race the Sun, then Good Will Hunting, Floating, Prep Number 1, Chasing Amy, Little Kid, I don't know what, Desert Blue, American Pie.
What?
No way. 200 Cigarettes. He's Fortinbras in Hamlet with Ethan Hawke. Drowning Mona. There you go. A movie called Committed with I think Heather Graham. Attention Shoppers. No idea. Soul Survivors. There he is on the cover. Ocean's 11. I love him in Ocean's 11.
Yeah, he's great.
I love him and Scott Conn in Ocean's. That movie is great.
Yeah.
That movie is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I mean, that is, gosh, so great. American Pie 2. Oh my gosh, I think I vaguely remember him now. Jerry, Ocean's 12. Lonesome Jim, I vaguely remember that. A movie called The Last Kiss, which is Zach
Oh, yeah,
Braff.
I remember that.
You saw that?
I saw it in the theater, and I remember, like everyone else, expecting Garden State 2, not getting that, not liking it. It's a really good movie, and I should have...
Last Kiss is good.
I remember it being... I just remember being like, that wasn't Garden State. Why would it be? But it was like a really dark look at relationships
Interesting.
and infidelity. And yeah.
God Baby Gone. Then Killer Inside Me. Then I'm Still Here. Oh yeah, I'm Still Here. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Is it interesting? Of course it is.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I really want to watch it.
Yeah.
He's a voice in Paranorman.
I remember seeing a film with Casey Abbott called A Ghost Story. It was pretty good. Yeah, Ghost Story's great. Ghost Story's phenomenal.
Love that film.
Yeah.
Have we talked about that film? I'm so glad you love that film.
Loved it.
Because that is...
Filmed in Dallas.
Yeah, David Lowery, man. That dude.
Great movie.
Oh my gosh.
Very powerful.
Ghost Story is beautiful. I have The Killer Inside Me. I never watched it. A Ghost Story is... Gosh. And people came out against that movie. People saw it and they were like, Rooney Mara eats a pie for 5 minutes. And I was like, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's great.
Like I heard, before I saw it, when someone was screaming about that, and I was like, you know what? That really sounds like something that I'm gonna love.
Yeah.
And but I saw the trailer for that, and I was like,
yeah,
I have to see that movie. I have to see it. And it is the ending of that film. Hit me so hard. My gosh, it is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I love that film. That is one of my favorite films of the last 20 years. It is, oh my gosh. I mean, gosh, not a lot. It's a totally unique experience. It's fantastic. I love Rooney Mara, absolutely. Newman. Let's talk some more about the fantastic To Die For. So Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
She reminded me of Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
Throughout, like the way she was speaking, I was like, she's doing a Meg Ryan impression.
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman's American is Meg Ryan. Now Meg Ryan turned down $5 million to be in this movie.
I know.
It's very interesting.
When I read that, I was just like, it took nothing away from it because she's so good in this movie, and it's better for it. But I was like, that would have been really cool. Yeah. To see Meg Ryan, because America's sweetheart.
Because of the baggage she brings in. I mean, not baggage in a bad way, just Meg Ryan.
Then she tried to do it years later with like In the Cut and tried to go dark because just like 3 or 4 years. I think in 2001 she tried to do that, and she should have done it because I mean, I have no doubt she would have crushed it. Mm-hmm. It would have been different, but she would have crushed it and it would have probably sent her career in a completely different trajectory. Yeah.
I mean, she did When a Man Loves a Woman, which I've not seen, but she's an alcoholic, and that's supposed to be like her dark movie. Mm. But yeah, then kind of came back into some other stuff.
But this would have been a great, super dark play on her, because they would have made it more cute than sexy, probably, and I mean, goodness gracious, like, oh man. But like, and I don't think she's doing a Meg Ryan impression. No, she might be, but it is almost uncanny. I'm like, yeah, gosh, that is Meg Ryan. You were doing a Meg Ryan voice, which incidentally is something that I think, and I don't think I came up with this on my own. I think early on, Amy Adams was called the new Meg Ryan, and I was like, what? And then like if you close your eyes when she's talking, you kind of go, oh. Like there are times when she sounds like Meg Ryan, yeah. Amy Adams. It's so funny because Amy Adams was like started off in like Enchanted and Junebug, and she was like that kind of wide-eyed, cutesy. And Catch Me If You Can. And Catch Me If You Can, yeah. I got my braces on. Yeah. Oh, she's so wonderful. Yeah, she is. I love her. Man, I guess we talked about this, but I remember watching. Saw her in Her like a couple weeks ago. Yeah. I was just like, there she is. She was in so much stuff. She was in everything that came out for like several years. Yeah. And I think it was easy to get a little. It was the Jude Law effect. It was when that 1 year where Jude Law was in 7 movies, major movies. Yeah. And I love. She's like in some ways she's like Gosling. Like
if she's in a movie where she's like straight laced and being totally serious, I'm like, like you're not doing poorly, but I see you. It's like she's sucking some of the color out of herself, and I'm like, whatever, and it's fine, it's solid, it's okay, it's okay. I love a movie where, I mean, like, yeah, in her, she just gets to be human. Yeah. Like, she gets to, instead of being like, I'm, this and this and this. And dark. It's the same, and it's just, and I'm like, you know, like, yes, you're a good actress and you can play a lot. Like, Doubt is different. She's kind of herself in this sort of. But, like, I'm like, you're a very good actress. You can do a number of things. There's so much in her that she closes off to be a serious actor, to be a serious character.
Did you like her in Arrival? That was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I mean, again,
love the movie.
Solid.
But I know
solid. Very solid. Yeah. Everything about that movie, very solid. Her performance, solid. But I just, there are things that she does. Like, again, watching her, I was like, I forgot I could connect this much with what's her name? I forgot her name. Amy Adams. I was like, Amy Ryan? No, Meg Ryan, Amy Adams, Amy Ryan. Yeah. Confusing. Not really. But it's the same thing with Gosling, where Gosling goes like, and I go, okay. In a movie like Blade Runner, where there's enough stuff going on, great. Yeah. But like in other movies, I'm like, okay. When he does like Nice Guys or something, I'm like, good gravy, that's brilliant. Just do that.
When I saw him in Crazy Stupid Love, I was just like, you have so much personality. Yeah, so much. It sucks that you are just doing, like, it was cool in Drive. Because that was the first time he did it, and it worked. And, you know, it just fit that. Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, okay. Hey, dog.
Hi, buddy.
Come here, Papa.
We got a pup.
Come on outside, Bubba. Hold on. You guys want to see the dog? Hey, buddy. Here we go. This is Walter. Hey.
Walter.
No, it's not. This is Papa.
Walter White.
Okay, Bubby. Outside, Bub. Bub. Go. Love you, boy.
Meg Ryan is slowly transforming into just lips.
I know. But Meg, my gosh, dude, like you go watch like Joe versus the Volcano or like my gosh.
Oh, she is so darn cute.
So great. Yeah, Meg. There's a tough and of course like Harry Met Sally, like
Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle.
I mean, yeah. Oh yeah. Like I mean, who? What? Nothing. No one.
Nah.
No one. She's
great.
Yeah.
She's the best.
She's that. She's America's sweetheart. Totally agree. Walter Mehta? No. His name's Pup. I said Walter because that's her name. I mean, her dog's name in the movie. Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna look up some more stuff. Yeah. Oh gosh, I love. Man, some of that early stuff where she's like, and we're talking about how he's like pressuring her to have a baby and like put her career on the back burner. He does do that. I mean, he does that.
He does that.
But like, there's a significant part of the movie where he's not doing that, and I don't know if we're not seeing it, but he does that like in 1 or 2 scenes. And then she's like, "You're going to get murdered." And like,
the worst of it was how he went about it.
Definitely. Well, that and
because he was like, "Look, baby, here's what we're gonna do." All. It's like, look, you can like be in charge of this thing at the restaurant. And you can like film the comedy acts and then cut them together and sell them back to the comedy guys.
It's great. And look, my mom and dad think it's a good idea. And he's like, let's be honest, this weather thing, it's good, but like, it's not really gonna go anywhere. And like, honestly,
and that's when she's like, "You're dead."
And that was the moment where it's like on her, and I was like, I could watch this for a year. But like, and that's honestly like, Matt Dillon is very charismatic, very fun to watch. I didn't like, he's big fun dumb guy. Yeah. And I'm watching it and I'm kind of like, cool, it's fun. I don't buy it really. It's not a, like, especially that part where he's like, I don't know. Yeah. I was like, I know that it works because it's a scripted plot point that's supposed to drive her over the edge. And you go like, yeah, I want to punch him right now because he's saying punchable stuff in a punchable way. Mm-hmm. But like, it's not how he would say it or any human being would really say it.
Right.
But it works. So I'm kind of like, nah, that's fine. But when they're at the pool, right, and he's like, that's where you start to get a sense of like the tragedy of what's about to happen. He's picking up kids and he's like, "Hey, you want one of these?" And she's like, "No, thanks." He's like, "What about one of these?" And she's like, "No, thanks." And she's sitting with his mom and she's like, "He'd be such a great father." And And she's like, no, thanks, and blah, blah, or she's like, yeah, boy, he's really getting a spare tire on the middle and something. And she goes, he really wants kids. And she's like, yeah, he's getting kind of fat. He's getting a spare tire on the middle. And he goes, what about you? And she goes, you think I'm getting fat?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, kids. And then and she's like, oh, kids are great. I love kids, blah, 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 blah. And something. And, but she like, yeah, I wrote it down. It's like, she goes, and she's like, but how can I do it with my career? Like, if say I'm in New York, and she's like, New York? No, just like say New York. And,
yeah.
And she's like, but like, how can I go, like, if I get called off to like a this or like a revolution in South America, you can't go with your big like stomach and your boobs out to here. Ew, gross. And the look on Matt Dillon's mother's face is just because a second later she gets called.
She's just like
she's like, and then it just goes. Mom, she goes, oh, don't do that. But it's like a split second, and you just go, oh, it's so, gosh, it's great.
And I think she says she's just like, he's like, oh, and you get a big bump, and you get so fat, and she's like, oh, it's just, it's so gross.
Yeah, and she's like, what is my son married?
Yeah, she's like,
what are you?
Being pregnant is gross.
So amazing.
But it's also, I mean, that's what's amazing about it, is it toes the line because it's like, they're expecting her to have a kid, and they're putting pressure on her to have a child that she doesn't want to have, and it's her decision if she wants to have a kid, and she never said that she wanted to have a kid.
Yeah.
Like, she never implied that she wanted to have a child.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is interesting. She's like, well, what about kid? When are you going to have kids? Yeah. Like, it's a very condescending way the mom goes about talking about it,
I wonder, I don't know... I wonder the actual, like, why did she marry him?
Yeah.
Like, was it because she, like, was like,
because he was,
I'm going to beat everyone and get, I mean, was that?
I think it was that. I think it was like a competition. He was the good-looking drummer guy that all the women...
In Little Hope, New Hampshire? I love it called Little Hope.
Yeah, I know.
So great.
The teenage girl, she's walking up the stairs and she finds... and they're boning in the bed, and she's walking upstairs, and she just had a shirt that said Little Hope on it. That's great.
Yeah, it is great.
But yeah, you're right, Imba. Like, it's just, I think it was as simple as, I want the most desired man in town.
Which, in this town, is
the
dumb version of Matt Dillon.
Right, it's the dumb drummer. Yeah. But I think that's the joke, is the same way she walks into the public access channel dressed to the nines, like, I am going to conquer, and it's literally two guys who work there. There's no one else. Yeah, the crew is one dude. Yeah.
I love when she walks into that later in the movie. She walks in, and she goes, "Get up!" And he's like, "Wake up, let's hit it." And he goes, he gets up, he goes, and he just like sleepwalks over. But I love after that initial meeting with Wayne Knight. She was like, it goes well. She's like, whatever. And she has the letter she's about to give.
I know! And she rips it up.
So funny.
Oh, the way she plays that scene, because she keeps trying to be very confident and professional and go-gettery. Yeah. And then there's that moment where he's just like, just hold on. And she goes like this.
I'll give you.
And she swallows real quick because she's trying to keep her confidence up and the momentum going. But you see her stall for a second and swallow all of it down. It was a great moment. But then she takes the letter and she's like,
I got this BJ letter. I got this BJ letter if you want. Oh my gosh.
Which was another great scene prior to that, and why she wrote the letter was who's that actor's name?
George Segal.
George Segal, when he's they're at the convention and he just plays a really sly, like real sleaze bag.
And it's so funny, and it's in some ways, I mean, I think you could, if it was performed not as well on Nicole Kidman's part, you could, sorry, I'm kind of jumping ahead of my head, but in that scene, because he tells a story about how he was like, I'm a powerful news producer, and there was a woman who came to me, and and she had a letter from her previous producer,
station manager
that said, this woman is she's a go-getter. She is of average intelligence.
Yeah.
She has some experience in the field, and she can suck your butt so hard that your eyes will pop out of your head. And she's like, And everyone's like, and then she's like, is that true?
Yeah.
And the friends are like, yeah. I don't know who those two people were. Were they gonna?
That's the industry.
Oh, okay. I was like, were they gonna be in on it?
Yeah.
If they like, was it gonna be a foursome? What was going on? Because they're like, yeah. And I was like, who are you? She goes, is that true? And they go, yeah. And then, and he's like, and then the best part is later. I
ran into him 5 years later. Yeah.
Yeah, and asked him about that letter, and he didn't remember writing it. And she's like, why? And then like he's like, because he didn't write it. And then she's like, who did? And then she's like, she did. And like if she played it any less truthfully that way, it's like an inconsistency in the character. That character's not that stupid.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
maybe.
I'll just be very candid with myself. Once he said the joke, he's like, because he didn't write it. And I was like, oh, who wrote it?
Okay.
And so
Sure.
I was like right there with her.
Okay, fair.
And I felt like a moron. Because I knew the movie was telling me I should know.
Yeah.
And I was like, movie, I don't get this joke.
No, I've definitely.
Because I'm too pure.
There you go. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. There you go.
I didn't get it.
No, yeah.
Look, this is Hollywood would take advantage of me in a heartbeat.
I know, man.
I'd be sucking poles left and right.
But you'd be the best weather girl.
I like when they cut back to her in the weather room, and she's been doing it for a while, and the way she threw that sun dot up. She just and it did that sound to make sure.
Yeah, she goes, so we're gonna this. I rewound it. I was like, I gotta watch that again.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah,
I was like, I wonder how many takes it took to do that, because I was like, that was really well done.
Yeah, it was. By the way, I've been in that situation too, where something happens in the movie, and I like pause it, and I go, what? And Kasha goes, they're saying this, and I go, oh, because this, and she's like, yeah. And I go, okay.
I hate.
Sometimes she doesn't get stuff too, though. Maybe
it happens to me a lot. I'm just like, maybe I'm dumb.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't know.
We're
Hey, I'm cool with that, you know?
Yeah.
I don't need no high-minded jokes.
Yeah. Gosh, I look, man. One of the most pathetic. Like,
oh yeah, we'll get to that in block.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. I was like,
I was not expecting that.
I thought it was Peter Coyote for. That's what.
So did I.
Yeah. I was like, oh, Peter Coyote, and then later.
Were you down there with us when we showed Red Fox in San Antonio, and he was there?
No.
Yeah, he was there. And he had a movie playing like right before ours, and I got to shake his hand, and I was like,
and you're like, hey, you leave E.T. alone.
And I was like, where are your keys? I didn't say that.
Is that from E.T.?
Yeah, because he's got the keys that are constantly jangling.
Oh, okay. Is it a line from E.T.? Who wrote the letter to Peter Coyote? I don't understand. No, help me. I remember he's in E.T. He's the bad guy in E.T. No, he's like the nice guy. He's a nice scientist, isn't he?
Yeah, but they always show him from his legs down.
Can you show his face?
Until like way later in the movie. And he's the guy with the keys.
Okay.
Hanging from his loop.
Yeah.
And he runs. Do you know what this movie is?
E.T.'s the one.
And he's running through the woods at the beginning, and they just keep showing his keys jangling.
It's been a long time since I've seen E.T.
How many times have you seen E.T.?
Twice.
That's too few. Far too few.
Okay.
More E.T. Has she seen E.T.?
Yeah. We saw it together at the most recently the Paramount Summer Film Festival, which is
cool.
Great. All right, lots of love, is Madeline. Good to see you. Of outrageous Peter Coyote of outrageous fortune fame. Yes. What did Peter Coyote say about our movie?
I know. He probably didn't see it.
Oh, it's because he's too good.
I mean, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's what I would think too.
I have a huge grudge against Peter Coyote. Peter Coyote.
All right.
Cronenberg shows up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing here?
Because I'm gonna make things get weird.
I was just because I knew who it was, and I was just like, why are you here?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah.
He did good dragging her down the the riverbank.
Yeah. And she was like, okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. Yeah.
Which I did love. I just loved that she was so
all the way,
conniving the whole movie, and then she meets Hollywood, quote unquote Hollywood, and she's just like, where are we going? Like, why are we here?
But and that is consistent because the other time that she does is with Peter Sagal, who like could give her a job, and she's like, who's gonna start a what?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That came up so naturally that I get the feeling you've said that. You're like, who's gonna suck start a what?
It's not a good thing to say. Oh, it's a disaster.
Who's gonna suck start a what?
What is it? That's like, I feel like isn't that a line from? It looks like you could suck start a. Isn't that like Arlie Ermy? I don't know. I'm trying to pawn it off on someone
Is that
else.
from Full Metal?
Probably not. But
I don't.
but it's so sad. Like it's so. But that is just jumping way ahead. But like just Joaquin Phoenix's character, these things that are so dumb and so funny, but at the same time so sad because you just know this kid. No one has cared about this kid. No one has given this kid enough attention, enough assurance, enough encouragement, enough anything for him to apply himself. But and then he just goes like he goes. So I'm here for like life plus 30 years if I live that long. And he's like, you're not going to live life plus 30 years, buddy.
Yeah.
It's life plus 30 years.
Yeah.
The real guy got paroled. And Leona Douglas ice skated on it. Yeah, I love.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I love that. So, and the way it starts, and she's like right here, and then she just whatever.
Yeah.
And then I loved it because I was like, yeah. And then for a second I was like, CG, that's too early for CG. And then she skates off, and then the double comes in.
Oh, really?
She skates off I was like, okay, she's skating backwards, cool. And then she like kind of holds this thing, and it's like a tiny bit shaky. And I'm like, okay, she learned to skate for this movie. And then like goes off.
And then it gets real impressive. Yeah.
I was like, oh, nice, I love it. But I almost feel like they were just kind of like, like they let that be in there. It's great. But
I just loved that they literally ended the movie with her skating on her grave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like dancing on her grave. Yeah, it's awesome.
So fantastic. Comfy, how you doing, man? We're doing well, I think. Gosh, I love.
Yeah, I was waiting for a muffled gunshot too, but I
know.
I was glad that it didn't happen.
Me too.
Yeah. And then the reveal of it was very cool.
Yeah.
With the
icy
stuff blowing away over her face. That was cool.
She's the ice queen. Gosh, and just like all these like he's like when I'm not with you, I'm not alive, Mrs. Murray. He never once called her anything but her full name with a title. It's just so.
I just love that, and this is a testament to his performance and the writing. Is the performance was so well done that it gave him real humanity.
Absolutely.
And yet the writing never dipped into sentiment and like completely portrayed him as a dumb, just full of semen, teenager with nothing more on his mind and no ambition beyond, I want this thing that's in my head, which they kept cutting to of them, like it was like a top-down thing of them having sex, and that's what he wanted. Yeah. He just wanted that, and he confused that for love, which was what you do as a teenager.
Yeah, and especially with a teenager who doesn't have anything else going on.
Right, and like this beautiful woman who's like lavishing him with attention. But I just love that they never made it. They didn't give it more merit than that.
Yeah,
and I appreciated that because it made his. Because of how good his performance was, it just made it all the more sad.
Absolutely. But it's like I can't. Yeah, man, hard to play hilarious and tragic at the same time.
It really is.
You nailed it. Good, comfy, cold. Yeah, that 4-letter word starts with C. Cold. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, right,
okay.
Right.
Oh gosh, hold on. Sorry.
Yeah, that was, and like, I mean, whenever when he was being interrogated, or when they first arrested him, he was shaking because of how nervous he was.
So great.
Like violently shaking.
So great.
And yeah, when he's talking about how he was in love with her and they were in love, it could have come off as hilarious.
Absolutely.
If played a different way.
And not only could it have been comedic, I mean, that is like I'd never seen that movie, and I knew what he was going to say because that is the cliched thing that people say in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen enough things where someone is like this exact situation, like literally this exact where someone is tricked into killing someone's husband, and they go, "But we were in love," you know. And like I knew he was going to say it, but then he disarmed me completely with the way he said it. Yeah. And I was like, that is not cliche because I believe it 100%.
And it's because that cliche is actually true.
True, absolutely. Definitely true.
Absolutely.
Which
is what makes it all the more sad is like you I feel like people who put themselves in situations. I mean, that's why being in love is such a fucking crazy thing.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't work correctly, it can make you. I mean, what did her say? It's like a legal form of insanity.
Yeah.
And like
Legalized.
you can do stuff, and in the back of your mind, you're like, I know.
Section. Yeah.
My brain is telling me you should get out of here.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't act this way, and you shouldn't go kill someone, obviously.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
But. And then you just throw it all away, and you're like, but what? And it's like, doesn't matter. Just like,
because like sex is happening right now.
Yeah, sex is happening, cool. And you got all these feelings that you've never felt, so you got all these neurons firing off that have never fired off before in your brain. And
also, your brain's not fully developed as a teenager.
Especially his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes. Gosh darn it! Yeah, so many things where he goes like he's like, oh, did he's like, your buddy Russell told us everything. He's like, oh, really? Did he? What did he say? He's like, said your brains, your penis is big, your dick's bigger than your brain. And he goes, oh, he said that. And, he's like, and you just go, gosh darn it! Like, I feel sorry for you, buddy, but like, oh, buddy.
I love those cops.
Yeah.
Just like they're like, you fucking idiot. Like,
he's got,
what are you
I think he meant as a compliment, and he goes, fucking amateurs.
Yeah, fucking amateurs.
And it's just like, and he's like, huh? And like, but like those performances in that moment, like they're so great. And then there were times in this movie where I was like, he's so good, but also I was like, honestly, I was like, does he have some brain damage as a character? Like the way he was performing.
I think he was slow.
Yeah, like there's
a little bit.
Like I was watching it, and I was like, are you possessed by a dumb ghost? Like. Because like he was going, it was weird. He was like, yeah, and this and that, but it was great.
Yeah.
But I was like, something is.
He literally did one moment during the dance sequence, like after he had stopped, and
so great.
And that dance was amazing.
So, like,
it's so funny, and yet again completely earnest,
there.
like just all in.
It's amazing.
And
hey, what's up?
But he did something where he was gonna say something. He goes like this, like Nicole Kidman asked him something. He goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he's like, I gotta swallow down my dumb.
Yeah. There are times when his weird voice coming out of his weird face, which, sorry, that sounds really bad.
It's just that hair. But he looks so good when his hair's cut. And I'm like, you look handsome.
Yeah.
But that hair.
He's a striking looking young man. But he is, and he's a very articulate, intelligent person, obviously. But he's doing such a bang up job of acting not like that.
Yeah.
And just channeling whatever that pure id is.
Yeah.
He's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it! It's just amazing, and that performance, it's so great, particularly in that interrogation scene. Like the differences where he's going like, no man, I'm not telling you anything. And he's like, what? He said my dick's bigger than my brain, and then he's like, you're an idiot, amateurs, and he like goes, huh? Like this is a look of shock, and I felt with him the turn of this whole thing, and I felt with him the like the realization of who he was sitting in front of and what was happening, and that like the dawning on him, if it ever did. But like it was weird. It was such a good performance, and it was so well directed, and it was so well executed as a film in that moment that I was like, and I was like, oh man, I just almost as the character experienced the change of that whole thing from a good idea to a bad idea.
Right.
And I was like, it's
a powerful thing.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And what's even more interesting is that like I went through that, and then I don't know if he did, because still afterward he's like, she's like, she's really cool, and like she's the best. I dream about her every night.
But I think that's just because that's
dope. Yeah.
I think he is a dope, and
Possessed by a Dumb Ghost is my favorite old Pulp Fiction novel. Yeah. Why are those cops waiting in the water? Because they could have called him. Well, because they, it's more dramatic to grab him away from his dad and have his dad go, well, now I got 2 crabbing buckets or whatever.
Yeah. That I actually loved, because I thought the same thing in Block. I was just like, why are they walking into the water fully clothed? And I was like, but then at the same time, I was just like, that's a very striking image, because they played it totally. Yeah. Everything's played so straight.
It's funny, before that cut, I was like, oh, does he like live with a moat around his face? I literally was like, I was like, so that was my, but I was like, oh yeah, like they were crabbing, and then I was like, maybe he's got like a lake around.
No,
his
you
house.
dumb shit.
And then
fucking amateur.
it cuts, and I go, oh, okay. All right, bro. Gosh, and like the moment.
So you didn't live in a moat?
What were you going to say?
I don't know.
Before you, okay, yeah. Well, because then like she's like, you know, whatever, blowing him. And she keeps coming up and going. She comes up the first time, and he's like, oh, don't, no. Like,
yeah.
And she's like, do you want me to whatever? And like, she's like,
great
when are you going to
scene,
do it? Yeah, I was. And gosh, and it was interesting. The camera kept like coming down on him and going,
yeah,
you know, which is interesting. But
it worked. Like it was very.
Yeah.
It was an intimate way of doing it. Yeah.
It was. Yeah. Absolutely. It's very. Yeah. But then she comes up that first time, and he's like, oh no, stop. She's like, what are you gonna do? He's like, what? I don't know. Like whatever. And she's like, and she goes, do you want me to keep doing what I'm doing? And he goes, yes, please. And I was like, it's so.
He's so, and like she's so.
Such a
callously
boy.
like
I mean, it's
yeah
just such a child,
and she's so aware of how much she has him in the palm of her hand sexually that I mean she literally just goes over to the window and she's like, I'm not even gonna try to dress this up.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, you know what, Casey Affleck would do whatever I want. I bet I could get him to do it if I do the same thing that I'm doing to you right now to him. And he's like, I can get it, I'll get the gun
next week.
yeah he's like, just come, I want my thing, put my thing.
The ding-a-ling. Yeah, gosh, and it's so, like, there's like a moment too where they're like,
it's very believable. That is like that's what makes this movie so amazing is how it weaves in and out of like, but that in that reality, like how you just look out into the world and you're just like, how are so many things that seem utterly crazy happening? And you're like, well, I mean, you know, it's that whole stranger than fiction thing. You're just like,
yeah.
If you wrote that, someone would be like, that's too over the top. You need to dumb that down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I would do whatever I want would be a great sentence to say in honesty. Yeah. Oh. Wait.
I'm trying to think. I had one last thing.
There was more.
Oh, when the dad hit Casey Affleck?
Yeah.
I was like, it wasn't just the sound effect. I was like, it was a weird punch. I was like, I didn't buy that at all. Yeah. I was like, is that a joke? I was like, is that a joke?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, they're trying to play that straight.
Yeah. It was supposed to be like sad, but I was like, oh.
But he like,
don't do.
He reacted like he really hit him.
Yeah.
Like really knocked him on his. Yeah.
And I was like, when King always understanding me, he's like, he didn't fight back, which is weird because he was supposed to be, the guy was such a temper. Anyway, I got a lot of blowjobs, and we did it in a lot of places. That was crazy, and that whole arc of like,
yeah.
But that was great. That whole confession scene where he was like, because he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, yeah, because your blood, he's got blood and brains on your shoes. The gun had your prints on it.
You got crushed seashells,
yeah. And he just kind of goes, and then they're like, how long you been doing it with her? He's like, it wasn't like that. And then he's like, where'd you do it? How many times? And he's like, okay. And then just lists probably 47 times. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and then he just like, he starts, and then like loses himself and it starts like bragging about it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's really crazy.
You banged in her husband's bed, and he's like, yeah.
He was like, yeah. And it's so. That's what I'm saying. He's not just dumb. It's like he's in another dimension. Like literally, it seems like he's like possessed or something.
I think it's that thing where you're like when you're a kid, you don't realize the ramifications. Like you just don't think that you're in reality, especially like graduating high school. You just don't think you're necessarily in the real world fully yet. Yeah. So you don't think consequences have long-term lasting actions that'll go far into your life. You're aware of consequences, but add that onto what his character already is, and then the situation in which she manipulates him hardcore in many different ways. Because she manipulates him not only sexually, but like also with how she spins the story. Like we can't forget, she told him in a very calculated emotional move that Matt Dillon beats her. Yeah. Like, and she has no way of escaping, and that the whole point of it was to save her. Mm-hmm. And he believed that. Mm-hmm. And that's so his love for her mixed with that lie is what got that motivation. and then you twist teenage angst and stupidity and the shelter and the bubble that you live in, and it's farce in context of the film, but it's just like that's how that shit. It's based on reality, and that's how that stuff happens. Yeah. It happens all the time.
And my gosh, and like and then of course she turns it all around, and like says to the media all this, all that she goes cocaine. I was like, oh boy. I was like, oh, this is going crazy. Yeah. But then like creates a plausible story, and then Dan Hedaya, bless him, like beats it.
That was power. Yeah, that was.
And then like, gosh darn it, like, oh gosh.
And it made it so great when she when Cronenberg calls at the end, like that got it real.
Yeah, and then he goes,
yeah.
Like after he makes the call and looks at the wife, and you're like, oh, she was in on it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, and then it just goes boom. But gosh, man, back to Joaquin. Sorry, just where there's that part where he's in the cell, and they're like, I don't know if he said something about like what his dreams were or something, and then he's like,
when who was in?
Somehow he gets on the what his dreams were. I think he was in the cell, or maybe they just because he's like I just like I always like wanted to have the kind of life where like those music guys have, where they like they write their own songs and like play them. And I was like,
Jim Morrison.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He's talking about the Jim Morrison thing.
Great.
And I was like, oh man, like he's got a depth to him. And he's like, and they just go and like play, and like then like everywhere they go, there's a bunch of chicks. They just want to do him. They just want him to do it to him, and like duh. And I just like that's the life, kind of life I'd like want to have. And
it's like, and like they want you to like. They want you to like whip your thing out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what Jim Morrison would do. Yeah. And he's like, they want you to whip it out. And I just thought that's the life I would want.
Yeah.
And it just kind of ends like that.
Yeah.
And then the last thing with the teenagers is, what was the girl's name?
Lydia.
When she's doing a interview. And she's talking about how it was like honestly the most exciting time in my life.
Yeah.
And as she's saying that, there's footage of her sitting on a car holding the dog in an empty derelict parking lot. And she's like, it was like honestly, I was just like, oh, that's so great.
Everyone's so yeah. Oh, the sports announcer. Yeah, he's gonna be a sports announcer. That bed was fair game. Wait, what? You made her husband. Well, it's her bed too, so checkmate. The scene after Lydia talks to the door, he's walking away, and he's like, "Did you tell her?" I know, it's so heartbreaking.
Yeah,
it's heartbreaking. Goodness. Tell me straight, would you not kill a dude for a chance to? I would not do that.
I would not do that either. I will say this,
but I understand where you're coming from.
I've never been like
one to kill a person,
one to kill someone,
to sex with
right?
Someone.
Yeah, I mean that's not me.
Yeah. Now you said it. Now you said it, so that happens. But.
I've always been like, yeah, she's a very beautiful looking person and everything. But and I think it's just because of how good her performance is, that I was just like, oh, is this why people were so like crazy over the moon for Nicole Kidman?
Put your tongue back in your head, buddy. You just turned into a wolf. You take it easy. Woo, 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 woo. No, yeah.
But like, I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
her performance is attractive in just the sense that of her as a performer. I'm she's so in control of this thing that it's
and so very possessed of her own remarkable sexual power.
Right.
I mean, it's true. And she as I was watching her face talk, because her face does a lot of talking in this. But no, when it's I was like her face is like a cat mixed with an angel mixed with an ice demon.
Yeah.
Mixed with a bunch of knives.
Yeah. Like a little Cheshire cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Because there's that, and like, because after that whole thing, and she walks out in that like furry Angora, not Angora, I don't know what Angora sweater is, but she's got that lime green kind of. Oh yeah. And she walks out after he's left, and she's like, okay, now we're gonna whatever. And it was very strange because she turned, and I heard crows cawing outside, and she looked just like Tippi Hedren in that instant, and I don't know if that was on purpose, which was very weird. And then she, does this thing, kind of pirouettes around, and it was very strange.
That was an awesome shot because all the lights
Yeah.
It like went from day to night, and then she walked back off.
Yeah.
That was actually, I remember thinking in that moment, I was just like, I wonder how many takes they did with that, because the pacing of it is all her.
Yeah.
And she paced it so perfectly.
Yeah.
Where she just went in, kind of did this thing, and she twirled, and then she kind of thought about it, and then she just sauntered back off camera, and it was just like beat, 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 and there's just that rhythm thing that you're talking about with good acting, where she just boom, boom, and back off camera. Like from the moment she appears to when she's literally out of frame, I bet you could, like, it was like an even split, like seconds wise. It was so very well done.
I mean, it's amazing. Like, again, like the one, like this, I cannot emphasize enough how much of a 150% perfectly, masterfully stylized, but also 150% perfectly emotionally genuine and absolutely true performance it is. But then also that thing, because they talk about how like there's stories of like how like you know, Michael Caine was doing a performance, and he's like did another take, and the director was like, cool, so let's run it, and he's like, no, you've got it, and he's like, well, I just think we're gonna whatever. He's like, no, I think you should talk. No, he's like, I think you're done. We got it, and he's like, well, I just wanted to try one more time. He's like, you see it in the dailies. And they check the dailies, and they're like, he's right. Like the guy, and then and there's stories of like Bruce Willis where like he's just, you know, sitting there, and he's like, and they go, okay, cool, Bruce, I want you to sit in the shot, go ahead, and he's like, what? And they're like, okay, so it's gonna be, he's like, what lens do you have on there? And they told him, and he goes like, okay, it's like this, and then it's like everything, like his face completely changed. And
that's a I mean, that's a pro, man.
That's a thing,
and that's something that like
and she knows how to control her face without controlling it.
That's why, like, you'd heard Kevin Smith was so vocal about working with him on Cop Out and how he didn't like that experience, but he was just like, what do you say to a guy who's done so many action movies, and then you're trying to direct him action wise, and like he doesn't want to do what you're saying, and then you're confused because you're like, well, I mean, he probably knows way more about this than I do, so maybe I should listen to him. And like
I'm the director, and
I'm the director, and I need to get my thing done, and also just like make sure the crew still respects me. And it's an interesting and understandable dilemma to when you're working with star power like that, particularly specific to that scenario, because even a director only gets to do a movie every 2-3 years tops. Like if you're moving quick.
Unless you're Woody Allen, you do 4 a year.
Right, unless you're just, I don't know how people do it. But an actor, and this is why one thing I have no envy of actors and what you guys do, because I couldn't do it, but the one thing I am envious of is that you can just hop, skip, and jump around from set to set and absorb just a ton of stuff. So you can learn that stuff. It's like, what lens is that? And this is going to have that. And then knowing what that effect has on your performance and things like that. Because, like, that's just through repetition and just knowing how to freaking do it. Like, I think John Travolta on Pulp Fiction was arguing with Tarantino about it. And this was like his big comeback thing, and he was really grateful, and he really wanted to be in Pulp Fiction, but he was also like, I need you to do a little bit more. He's like, he did this. He said the same thing, I think. He was like, just watch the monitor or check the dailies, or when you check the dailies back, you'll see that, like, I'm not doing anything right now, but that's what you want.
But I'm John
fucking Travolta, and the way I read this magazine on the toilet, it's good. Trust me.
I love the shot of Travolta and like the poster of Travolta that like matches when they cut to the inside of Joaquin Phoenix's house, and I think he's being cuffed or something, or I don't know, but he's just the way he's posed. There's a poster of John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever behind him.
Oh yeah.
Like, it matches. It's just great.
Yeah,
it's really great. There is, speaking of Nicole Kidman's control, there are two things. When they initiated that whole sequence where, like, you know, like they showed the gun unfolding. Casey Affleck like pops the clutch on the thing with it, and like it picks up Joaquin Phoenix or whatever, and it's like intercutting between that and it's like it goes like, and they're putting up the banner and it says 1 year, and I went, 1 year? They made it 1 year, and she murdered him. Oh my gosh! I thought that was.
But I think that goes in line with everything we've said about how once she got married, she got bored instantly, because she was the same way with the teenagers, where she's like, I got the thing that everybody else wanted.
Yeah.
And now I don't need, and now you're posing a problem because now I have these ambitions and you're saying you want me to pop out kids for you.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that.
So, which makes me what? Because we were talking. Remember,
She is like a cat. She's just like.
Yeah. I mean, like that moment where she's spinning around and stuff. I was like, oh, Catwoman. She could have played. Heck
And then
of a
she had to
Catwoman.
play fucking
Chase Meridian.
Ugh.
Whatever. but.
What year was that? Was that before this?
Same year.
Same year.
Yeah.
Wow.
This came out that
Because that's a
year,
career
Batman
low
Forever.
point for her. I mean, it's not, but it's not her. It's just,
Yeah.
it's the direction, and it's a terrible character. She,
Yeah.
from second one, is like Batman lands. She turns and goes,
Kiss from a rose on the grave, and it's all fine.
yeah.
No, yeah.
She basically grabs his
Yeah.
bat bulge, like right then and there.
Yeah. Chasing that Meridian. I don't know what's happening.
Say it again.
It's a long line. I don't know. But yeah, this year, you okay? To Die For, Batman Forever, and Seven all came out this year.
Heat.
95
was great. GoldenEye.
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 No, his weakness.
Who is that? Tina.
It's Tina. Bum bum bum.
That's a great. I love GoldenEye.
Favorite
Favorite Bond.
Woody Allen. Played James Bond, Casino Royale. Or Jimmy Bond, his American.
I thought that was Peter Sellers.
Both. Casino Royale, yeah. Casino Royale has like a couple Bonds.
Oh,
and then,
okay.
And then he's Jimmy Bond. He's American. Favorite Bond. I mean Daniel Craig, unfortunately.
Cool.
I mean not unfortunately, just like that's not cool because you want to say Connery, but Daniel Craig.
That's her.
And Dalton. Big Dalton fan.
Cool. I did not mean to derail you. Yeah.
Cool. The other thing about that intercutting whatever, there's that moment she leans down and it's all red and she blows out the candle and then like with the music cue, which obviously isn't editing, but it just goes hum, and like her eyes I like took my breath away.
I didn't notice that.
It's just like it's not even
the music cue starts on her eyes going like this.
Well, there's just there's like a little with it, but she like leans in and goes and that's what I'm talking about. The control of her face. She does things where like she looks down, and then you're waiting for her to look up, and you're like, it's definitely gonna happen now. It's definitely gonna happen now. Is it not? Ah! It happened! Like she just keeps me on the edge of my seat with what her face is doing.
I know.
Crazy.
It's like I
really,
could.
truly amazing.
The fact that we have talked 90% about her performance,
I know.
it's just a testament to how it is like a legendary performance.
It truly is.
It really is.
It is flanked by other fantastic performances.
Yeah.
The fact that we are not talking about Joaquin Phoenix's performance nearly as much as her, like that means that's how incredible this performance is. And again, Dan Hedaya, Ileana Douglas, goodness gracious, Kurt Smith. Okay, holy God. Holy goodness. Goodness gracious. Like half a dude, maybe 1/3 dude. Time to break out the polygraphs. This is way back, sorry. Awooga. That's back when you're, really.
Right, I was way into Nicole Kidman back then.
How's the movie when you were watching other parts of her talk? Do you think Kubrick cranked off after watching this?
Are we talking about when we were talking about Lynn's choices? Or?
No, okay, I don't know what we're talking about. Shotty heard you describe her as part cat and was like, wait, does Laura want a cat? So she said, well, you do yiff a lot. I do yiff a lot. I like to yiff. Oh, by the way, speaking of yiffing, this is a total tangent, so maybe I shouldn't take it. Maybe we should.
Cranking off is a funny word. Or a funny term.
It's a funny word to, yeah. You ever heard...
Cranking off.
Boy. You ever heard the term jilling off?
Does that implying an instrument or
no? So like if
jilling off.
So if
Jack and jilling.
Yeah. Well, so like if one, so like the first part. So the one. So the male.
Yeah, jacking.
Off.
Yeah, I got that.
Right. So it's just.
So it's just the female version.
Yeah.
Who came up with that one?
It's not great.
It's not great.
But
it's really not.
But it's.
That sounds like something Joaquin's character would come up with.
Oh, her classic cheesecake scene is in Eyes Wide Shut. So you just because like Kubrick is attracted to McClunkin. When I'm not with you, I'm not alive. Mrs. Moretto, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. Gosh.
Does watching this, and since we've already talked about and seen, we did Eyes Wide Shut, we talked a lot about her performance, particularly in the opening Christmas party scene, and how that was an odd, I think we both agreed that was an odd take. But seeing how calculated she is, particularly in this movie, that's a choice without question. Does it make you think about it differently? I just wanted to posit it.
I mean, she's definitely playing a different character.
Because I think you had a harder time with it than I did.
I did. It's still weird. I don't think so.
Yeah, you're right. All right, you made your point. We get it.
I mean, it's strange. It's.
What would you say if you're on set and you're just like, I don't know, maybe just speed it up just a little bit. I don't know.
I don't want to tell you. And then she goes, "You'll see it." In the day. Well, I see it in the dailies.
Well, I see it in the dailies. Is that what you're going to
say? No, it's very interesting, and I don't know because here's the thing, like, and I'm not. Believe me, I'm not taking anything. I'm not trying to take anything away from Nicole Kidman, but Gus Van Sant is a director in whose films I think people give very good performances.
Absolutely.
Kubrick is a director who is kind of hands off.
Yes. I think you're right.
I don't know. I'm not saying that.
I think you're absolutely
I'm not saying
right.
Nicole Kidman is a bad actress without a director like Gus Van Sant. That's not at all the case. I'm saying that...
I think it does go to show that you, especially now that you're telling me that she did Batman Forever in the same year, it does not matter, and I think this is good for any actor to hear, no matter how good you are, having a director who is there and in sync with you vision-wise and going to protect your performance.
And an editor, too.
And an editor. I mean, all of it.
But
you know,
definitely.
it's... You can deliver the best performance, and it can be ruined by bad directing and bad editing.
Or bad... exactly. Selection of bad takes.
Selection of bad takes,
It's interesting.
It happens all the time.
Totally. And the other thing is, like, this... I mean, she, like... Because the thing is in the novel, right? This is based on... At the end of the book, the character says that she wants to be played in the movie of her life by the actress who just married that Tom Cruise guy, who's Nicole Kidman. Like, in the book.
Wow.
Mentions Nicole Kidman. Crazy. So she...
Whoa.
I know. I haven't read the book, but I just read that about the book.
Whoa.
Yeah. Nuts. And she read the script and, like called Gus Van Sant, talked to him for 40 minutes about her vision for the character.
So this was like that thing where she was like, I know it, it's in me. That's a great... Isn't that awesome when you have that? It's such a rare... Those things are rare.
I know.
But you gotta, you go for them. And I think it's real easy. I know I get in a very... Things just come out of me where I'm like, well, I would never be this forward or blah, 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 blah. But like when you just know, when you just know, you act differently.
And so I bet he did. Like, this is less of a selfish thing. I just know that this is the best thing for the project.
Yeah. It's not an ego thing. I need to
be president because I am good for you. You need me. That's not. No. That wasn't meant to be, but it happened. Dennis Hopper said about Frank Booth. Really? Ooh, interesting. Sean Young said that about Catwoman. Ooh. It's true. I mean, it's sad. I feel sad.
It's like there's an ominous wind that came through the window just then.
Did you, man? This is not anywhere. I saw a little behind the scenes thing of like how how they did the Sean Young for Blade Runner 2049. Cool. I was like, that's amazing.
It's very amazing.
Also terrifying.
Oh yeah,
because you can just put someone where they're not.
Yep, it's very scary. Sean Young is never. I haven't seen her in enough stuff to know. I mean,
she's quite good in Blade Runner, but I mean, it's a very
you know. No, not take that away from her.
Usually lives in Austin.
Yeah, she's in a lot of Austin projects.
Is she?
More than one. Yeah. Apparently. Very difficult.
Sorry?
It's a negotiating tactic. You can't hear what I'm saying.
Did you say the studio justice cabinet? Yes. I mean, like, I honestly feel for her a lot. You know, like, I mean, because the truth, like, people hear the like, oh, she just went crazy trying to get Catwoman. She dressed up and went over to, like, I was like, dude, actors do idiot stuff like that. Not idiot stuff all the time. Yeah. That's how
but
people.
But it's
Nicole
not.
Kidman did it and it worked. But
that's the thing is, like, she wouldn't take no for an answer.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the other thing is, she was cast in the first Batman before Kim Basinger. She was cast as Vicky Vale. Broke her leg in a horseback riding accident, like a couple weeks before shooting. They plugged in Kim Basinger. She never got to be in Batman.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Not heartbreaking? And then she was like,
oh, well, that explains a lot.
Second one's coming around. She's like, I'm going to be Catwoman.
And 89 Batman has become the biggest movie of all time.
I know. And she's like, and she's like, I've seen her, seen interviews, and she's like, could have gone, my career could have gone a different way because of that. And so
it's very sad and it's unfair.
Yeah, and
I mean, it is because she probably had that feeling where she's just like,
yes,
I will, and I bet she would have.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's hard to say that now because Michelle Pfeiffer owned that. But
I said that earlier about Nicole Kidman being like, watching her in this movie, my gosh, what a Catwoman that would be. Having said that, I do not want. Like, I don't want to lose Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. Gosh, she's fantastic.
And also, I guarantee you, the conversation for anyone stopped at, all personality aside, stopped at, we're getting someone like Michelle Pfeiffer, who is A-list, top of her game. Yeah. Sean Young's been in Blade Runner in 1979.
Right. 82.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Someone who was living.
It was a long time ago. Why are you giving?
I'm not.
Why are you busting my chops?
I'm sorry.
You're fired. The CEO here. Get out of the black. What's the? Get out of that Catwoman suit. What's the tower called on the Universal lot?
I don't know.
The famous Black Tower. I think they just called it Black Tower.
Oh.
It's where they did all like agents. I can't remember. All the deals were done there. And Lou Wasserman lived there, and I think it was Universal.
I don't know that.
But they called it the Black Monolith or the Black Tower or something.
She was also in Dune. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, like, but the thing is, like, I hear that about Sean Young, and I'm like, that sucks. But, and I mean, I'm sure if there are stories like she went away, like she went about it strangely. But there are those stories that actors hear about, like, well, you know what, like, Jason Schwartzman showed up at the Rushmore audition. He was the only one who was in full Rushmore garb and whatever. There are actors who come in and just, like, they kick down the door and they, like, scare them and they go, man, you're so that character. And actors hear these things and go, like, that's the way. Yeah. And this is the time.
And sometimes
desperation mixed with crazy, but also not that she's crazy. I'm just saying, like,
it's just that you really got to back up that crazy with some good stuff, or else it's just then you're just crazy, and you have to, like, it's a dangerous thing to do because you have to be that good to pull it off.
Yeah, you have to. It's like running into the middle of the mall and shooting off a gun. Yeah, and people going, what? And then you go, but I have this thing that's so good you're gonna forget and not care that I shot off that gun.
It's a movie about a guy who shoots a gun in a mall.
There you go.
Starring me.
It's Catwoman.
It's Catwoman.
You had me. You lost me. Meanwhile, Daniel Day-Lewis moves to Italy to make shoes and directors have to chase him down. Exactly, because he only makes a movie once every 4 years. She's in Stripes. Oh, man, I need to watch Stripes. I think we're getting down to the end here, probably. It's 10:29. Yeah.
Solid 3.
Gosh. Yeah. If you'll allow me, a personal greeting to my husband Larry on this, our first anniversary. Good night, honey. And her face is like,
Yeah.
and then it just goes. It's just like the thing her face ends on right before that. I mean, that sort of. I mean, it's precision.
It is. Like, the more we're talking about it, I'm just like, is it Gus Van Sant's best movie? In terms of just sheer, like, every choice he made in this movie is so perfect to aid in elevating her performance to the greatness that it needed to be.
I think it's one of his most stylized movies.
Certainly.
Which allows him to make these very strong, bold choices without...
And that's what it's bold, like,
yeah.
It's forefront directing.
I mean, and she sits down in that chair... And then the light goes off on her, and she's and it's beautiful,
and it's great,
and it's the sort of thing that's what makes it feel. I mean, it's the Danny Elfman music, but it's stuff like that makes it feel Tim Burton-y.
Yeah,
it makes it feel like the Housewives from like Edward Scissorhands, but like with a lot more gravitas. You know what I mean? It's just it's really, really great. But if you had something like that in Milk, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
but there you go. That's, I mean, because he doesn't do it in Milk. No. And, I mean, he doesn't do it in Good Will Hunting. Yeah. He's lauded and he's critically acclaimed, and it's hard to say that he's underrated, but when you watch something like this and then you revisit, because, I mean, we'll have to do My Own Private Idaho, because it's so... Because I think it was probably one of his more personal movies, and it's just like, and it's River Phoenix, and it's just like, it's so beautiful. He is just such a talented dude. He really is. He really is a fantastic director.
He really is. Yeah. I read that, and I've not seen My Own Private Idaho. I've heard of it many, many, many times. I mean, I've been aware of it for a long time. There is apparently a re-edit of it called My Own Private River. That I think is credited to Gus Van Sant and James Franco. Of course, James Franco, right? But I'm interested in that. I don't know. I mean,
What is it?
I don't know. It's re-edited to kind of be a different story. It's interesting. I mean, it takes it's footage from the film.
Interesting.
And make it a different. Yeah, it's interesting. Kind of like a shot-for-shot Psycho remake.
Do they like cut out Keanu or? I mean, like, seriously, like,
they just make him crazy.
Is that what they call it, like My Own Private River?
I don't know. No idea.
What's James Franco doing?
I don't know. It's just kind
of weird.
It's just spliced in shots of like Nicole Kidman dancing next to him, and you're like, well, that changes things. What are you doing?
I wonder if you could take someone's...
Matt Damon on a subway. You're like, you can't do... It's in a river. You can't...
Can you... It'd be cool... No, would it be cool to take an entire director's filmography and then just make a completely new narrative out of it that really tells like a legitimate ABC storyline, like a really well done narrative, but using just the movies from his filmography over the course of his entire career.
I don't know.
I think you could do it.
Yeah.
It would require a lot of work.
Yes, it would. I think James Franco's up to the task. It reminds me, just for whatever reason, have you ever seen the Jeff Daniels Saturday Night Live appearance? Where
No, it's 3 hours of James Franco cranking off to River Phoenix.
I was like, cranking off.
It's a good term. It makes me laugh.
Man, you know what? Oh man, that made me sad. Because I was like, oh no, it's like Joaquin Phoenix because he does it, and then I was like, that's his brother who passed away. I just got really sad.
Oh shit! Like, I wonder. Well, I mean, there's got to be the correlation there. I'm sure that's how he got. Okay. Yeah. I always forget that they're brothers.
Yeah. Totally. Right.
Sorry, what were you going to say? I totally cut you off.
Have you seen the Jeff Daniels appearance on Saturday Night Live circa Dumb and Dumber? There's a sketch on Saturday Night Live, or it might not even be around Dumb and Dumber, but there's a sketch on Saturday Night Live when he hosts, where he's like sitting on he's there to talk about maybe another movie even. And the host is like, so cool, yeah. And he's like, so what do you do in this movie? He's like, oh, well, I just, this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I go, cool, I think we have a clip. It's the clip from him from Dumb and Dumber where he runs into the toilet and goes, and he's like, and then it comes back and he's like, oh, it sounds great. And he's like, yeah, that like, Well, whatever. It might be. I can't remember if it's Dumb and Dumber they're talking about, or even just like and they talk about another movie and they go like, I think we got a clip, and they come and it's just that over and over again. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna, and it's just really funny. I don't know why. So
it's so hilarious how he's such an amazing dramatic actor,
really
and he is a dramatic actor. He is not a comedy actor.
I know.
And yet his most famous role is for being this really dumb guy in a really funny movie.
Does a great job.
He's fantastic.
Yeah. By the way, Cronenberg is in Jason X, the Friday the 13th in Space.
Yeah.
It's also directed by Gus Van Sant. It's a lot of over Jason's shoulder wandering through the space station.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to end on that, or?
Yeah, I think that's probably as good as I'm gonna get. Oh yeah. The part where she like finds what's her face in the mall, and she, because she's brilliant, man. She like you go like, oh, she's got a wire, they're gonna get her. Cause she's dumb, and then she's
like,
she's like, you get it, and she's like, smart. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I think that's what it was.
Absolutely,
yeah.
and absolutely was because I thought. I was like, oh, they're going to get her. And then I was like, dude. And I was like, oh, that was meant for me to be like, oh, she's going to find it.
Yeah.
But that was her checking for a wire because she's a genius.
Yeah.
But she didn't get the thing because she was starstruck.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. And then she's just like, she texts and then is very careful to like, just kind of like very, vehemently contradict everything she's saying. And then she goes, I thought, I want to be friends. She's like, oh, okay. Will you take some advice from your friend? You better keep your fucking mouth shut. And then she just goes, and it's just, gosh.
Or when she opens the door and they're like, can we talk? Like, we need to talk about what's going on.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah.
She's like,
looks at the people and goes,
he's like, James is here. And she's like, what?
Where?
She's like, where?
Oh my gosh. So smart, yet fell for a fake Italian Cronenberg. Yeah, that's right. Apparently Jim Carrey fought for Jeff Daniels being Dumb and Dumber. Yeah, like, because he wanted an actor, someone who to play off him as opposed to... community who is gonna.
Have you ever seen Squid and the Whale?
Yeah, Squid and the Whale was great. Do you know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Butter stuff. Butternuts. I love butternuts. Buttercup.
Oh, I love that movie.
I
watched that movie.
That's the most brilliant comedy. That's the most well-written comedy maybe ever.
Did Chappelle write that?
Oh, I had no idea.
Are you talking about Half Baked right now?
Oh, I was talking about
Butterstuff.
Butterstuff is Half Baked.
Half Baked
is great.
I mean, Dumb and Dumber is.
I was doing Dumb and Dumber and then I went into Half Baked.
Yeah. I saw the correlation.
Yeah. I didn't mean to.
What's that guy's name?
I thought Butterstuff was from Harlan Williams. Who has created... Yeah, that's great. That's really good. He's created a children's show called Two Dogs. Or no, I think it's called The Puppy Dogs or something. It's a kid's show. I've seen it.
Like a legitimate kid's show or like an Adult Swim kid's show?
No, it's like a real... Yeah, and he like plays... He's got two dogs that like... It's a cartoon, and then he plays the man. It's kind of like Alvin and the Chipmunks, but he's...
Oh, okay.
Sort of. And but he voices the man, and then they kind of like go around. I saw 2 episodes with my daughter, and I think they go around like trying to help him do stuff.
Cool.
Yep.
Good for him.
Something I know about Harlan Williams. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry. Dave Chappelle wrote Half Baked. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. I like that movie.
Yeah, Half Baked is great.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I watched it a lot. Abracadabra, B. Hey, B. Yo. he goes, yo, the guy. Did you kill Killer? And he goes, no. He goes, I believe in B. I don't know why, but I do. So great.
Who's the rapper that Chappelle plays?
I can't even remember. Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Jamaican guy.
He's got like cornrows and he's like got gold all over him.
Oh, wait.
What's his name? Does anybody know?
It's not Mr. Smiley Face or whatever.
I can't. Little John?
Not Little John.
No, this is pre-Little John.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I used to watch. That was just a I had VHS tapes that I would buy, and then my brother had like just a weird collection of stuff, and it was like Half Baked and Pecker and you know, just like Go. Remember Go?
Yeah. Did he have like Buffalo 66?
No, he didn't have that. It's just like a
Go. Wow, I never saw Go.
Yeah, like a lot of very 90s movies, you know?
But like kind of like a little kind of cusp.
Yeah.
Like a fringe, yeah.
Kind of that fringy, like Technicolor.
Yeah.
I think you have a copy of Spice World.
That's a curveball.
Yeah.
That's cool. Is Spice World good? I mean, I don't even know what Spice World is about.
It's about
The Spice Girls.
Spice
Do they live in outer space?
I think they go to outer space. I'm not joking either. I think they do. I think they do. I'll ask Kelsey because she said she loved that movie growing up, and I've made so much fun of her.
Sir smokes a lot.
Oh, Sir smokes a lot. Yeah.
Doctor
says I need a backiotomy. That's what his line was. Yeah. Doctor says I need a backiotomy.
Yeah. Chappelle's in Con Air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
What else was he? Oh, you know, okay. The craziest supporting role that Dave Chappelle was in before Chappelle's Show was he is in You've Got Mail as Tom Hanks' best friend who works with him he's like his right-hand man.
That's crazy.
And he's funny, but like he plays really straight. He can't be his funny self because it's a Nora Ephron movie.
Yeah.
And so he's just like the very vanilla,
I've never
funny,
seen You Got Mail.
funny
now
dude.
I want to see it.
Because
you were like
but it's not worth it in the sense, like,
Yeah.
I think You've Got Mail is a fine rom-com, but he leaves no impression at all.
Yeah, weird.
It was weird. What's weird about it? Yeah.
First time I saw Dave Chappelle, I believe, was in The Nutty Professor.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Really great. I mean, what a yeah.
God, I remember when Eddie Murphy was just awesome.
Yeah.
I think that was it. Nutty Professor after that was all.
And I never saw anything after that, I think.
Yeah. I saw Daddy Daycare. That was all right.
You see Meet Dave?
No. No.
Yeah. You know what I saw that I liked was I saw this once, like maybe at someone's, like it was on Showtime or something. And I just watched it. Can you imagine? It's a pretty good story. I watched Showtime and I was like, I'm charmed by this. I really like this. I like this a lot. Later, Zed Burrito. Lots of love. I hope that Strappy gets better. I'm tired. What I'm saying is not making sense. Thank you. Robin Hood Men in Tights. Oh, that's true.
That's right.
That's true. That probably was before Nutty Professor.
Good run.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, it's around about 11. I mean, to wrap it up, it's
next week.
It's a really good movie. Hey,
Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk Love. Little P.T. Anderson in your life. A little Adam Sandler. A little Emily Mortimer. No.
A little Emily.
No, Emily.
Emily Watson.
Because I always want to say Emma Watson, but then I think
I do the same thing.
But then I go Emma Thompson, Emma Watson, Emily Mortimer. Big Emily Mortimer.
That's tough for you.
Yeah, tough with that brain of yours, huh? Yeah, you're gonna have some trouble. Did you just say what? Is that from a movie?
That's from Punch Drunk Love.
Is it from Punch Drunk Love? Oh yeah. Oh. I'd say that's that. Mattress Man.
What?
You're going so
Shut up!
good.
Shut up!
Shut up! Oh my gosh. I haven't seen that since like the 2 times I watched it when it came out.
Have you seen the 30-minute highlight reel that a man cut together of all of Philip Seymour Hoffman's performances dating back to his first one in Law and Order?
I've seen a clip from Law and Order, and he's amazing in it.
He's amazing in it. He weaved together a 30-minute tapestry that tells an emotion, like you will be I have it saved on my computer. I watch it once a year just to get a good cry out, and it is astonished because he not only chooses the best clips, but he builds it in an emotional arc to where it's like, here's funny Philip Seymour Hoffman, and here's young, and blah blah blah, and yet at the same time he's weaving in through themes about life and death and this and that, and then it builds to this amazing just emotional crescendo that it'll just destroy you.
I want to do Synecdoche so bad. That I think I'm
gonna send that to you, and maybe you can put it in the Discord because it's a phenomenal piece of filmmaking.
I want to watch that tonight. Philip Seymour Hoffman is the male Meryl Streep, I think.
No.
Like,
nobody beats him.
What's that?
Nobody beats him.
No, man. And that's the thing is like, gosh darn it. Because we were talking, man. Because we were talking way back with the Godfather and stuff, where it's like, we were like, oh, De Niro, or is it De Niro or Pacino? De Niro, Pacino. I'm like, it's Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep is the greatest actor we have. I feel like. I mean, in terms of like. Also, she could do her best work tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, she's just she is the actor.
I need to see more of her stuff. Yeah. Whenever I revisit stuff from when she was younger, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see. I just haven't honestly just seen. Like, I thought she was phenomenal in Deer Hunter, like truly phenomenal. Yeah. And then
that doesn't give her a whole lot.
I know, but like that's the testament to her performance because it's a complete side character, and yet she resonated completely. Yeah. And then I remember having a very strong reaction to her, and so not Sophie's Choice, Kramer versus Kramer.
Yeah, I've got Sophie's Choice. I do not want to watch it.
Yeah, I've never seen it
because it's just like, come on, man, like, come on.
I don't even know what it's about.
Oh, okay.
I know it's like it's Sophie's Choice. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Yeah. So for me, let's do either one. Let's go.
Yeah. Silkwood. Oh, I've never seen Silkwood, but that, yeah. Whose daughter is in this season of Mamie Gummer? Mamie Gummer. How's the peeping, Tommy? Mamie Gummer. Sweet. Well, guys.
Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk Love. Guys, this is a great one. I'm glad we did this.
Yeah.
This is
I really.
She's fantastic.
I am glad we did it because I forgot, and it was just great.
It's beautiful. What a fantastic movie! Great movie about obsession. Fits right in with Valentine's Day. Don't anyone say anything else. We're gonna watch and we're gonna watch Punch Drunk Love, which I really honestly think is like kind of our of the three is sort of like the sweetest, most like in a way the most traditional Valentine's movie, even though it's a little off.
It's a movie about love.
Yeah. It's going to be great. It's P.T. Anderson. Tell me, have you guys seen Punch Drunk Love? Tell me if you have or haven't. While they're doing this, one thing. Here's this tangent. Tell me, guys, if you're interested in this. I was told tonight, you heard of The Sims, the movie, the game The Sims? Mm-hmm. So apparently there is a challenge going around called the 100 Baby Challenge, wherein you boot up a game of The Sims and you select. I was told you're a woman, and you try to have 100 babies by 100 different partners, and that's what you do. And apparently it's difficult. And I do not understand this part of the challenge. They said you have 100 babies, you also are not allowed to get a job. And I was like, that sounds particularly sexist. That's very weird.
I don't think you can even. Sexism comes into it when you're on baby, let's say, I don't know, 6.
But, yeah, I know, right, exactly. But
you don't have time for a job.
Apparently it's possible. And people did it, and they were, also they're like, I was like, well, how do you, because someone was telling me this, I was like, well, how do you support your 100 babies, monster?
Like, how do you?
And they're like, well, you can plant a garden and sell grapes for $80. And I was like, that's pretty accurate to real life. Grapes are about $80 at the grocery store. They're pretty expensive.
Isn't it stupid?
Yeah, they're fantastic.
I had to stop getting grapes.
No, they're great.
Because they're like $9 a
Yeah,
bag.
and then you're like, we're flush. Let's get some grapes. Let's get like 6 grapes.
You don't want to see me when I get a paycheck, dude. It is like the Roman Empire in my house. I'm making wine in my tub.
Oh man, favorite movie with Adam Sandler for sure, absolutely. And then they're like, you can do that, or you can be a self-published author. And I was like, that's really funny. I think it's really funny that you're like, you can't get a job. You can be a writer though. I was like, yes. It's fantastic. I love it so much. So
it's like you be self-employed.
Yeah. Oh.
You're like, oh, cool.
Yeah. I was thinking about trying to find a copy of The Sims somehow and doing the 100 baby challenge. Apparently, it's really hard. And I told
How long does it take?
So one
Because like once you have a baby, do you have to like find another man, woo him?
Yeah.
Like how long does that
what
take?
happens to your baby, right? So
you got to take care of that kid, right?
Yeah.
Because like a little Digimon,
yeah,
Pikachu, or
yeah, exactly.
What?
Yeah,
Those
definitely.
are correct terms.
Yeah.
Tamagotchi. That's what I meant.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, or like a human baby that you also take care of. Okay. Very good timing. But apparently, so this one woman did it, or one person did it in 24 hours. But she just like dropped a baby and like went out to find someone else. And then you're like, what happens to the baby? And like, well, CPS, like Sims CPS comes and gets the baby. And then they're fine probably. It's like they just give it to another Sim who's not out trying to have sex with 98 more people.
Wait a minute. So like, is there?
I know.
Is there a gestation
I had so
period?
many questions.
Like, are you pregnant?
That's right. You're pregnant. Yeah, I guess. And then you give birth to the baby, and apparently in a Sim day, the baby maybe is like a kid. And then like as they grow older, like some of them will start to be like teenagers, and they'll leave the house and get jobs. And then you're like, then it becomes like,
it's like, now we're really making grapes.
And I was like, yeah, exactly. And I was like, well, okay, so maybe this becomes a good. And I was like, and also like, what I was like, also by like baby 45, the person would just die. You would just die. You can't have 100 babies. But also it's like, I was like, how does the healthcare work? And
you're like, I'll tell you one thing, it's no longer painful, all right?
How do you even? You don't even.
I'm having a baby a day, guys.
But how does even mechanically that work after you've had 100 babies? Someone just goes, whoa, and then, sorry, I shouldn't be.
It's like baby number 62 is like, no, I got trapped in there from last night.
That's not my parents. Yeah, gosh, yeah.
I'm a crow man.
It's like, that counts. Human body came out of me.
Wear this diaper.
Oh my gosh. But
I want you to do this.
Yep.
And then I want to watch it.
I know. And I was like, the healthcare alone. And then I was like, can I get Sims Canada? Like Canadian Sims? Where I can just have a lot of babies? That right there is what I can say Adam Sandler is actually a good actor. Good for them. Bless you guys. You're still talking about film. You're talking about Reign Over Me. Oh, yeah, there you go. Reign Over Me. That's one movie with Cheadle is super. Yeah, where his family.
Oh, yeah.
He plays Shadow Colossus in it? Oh, that's crazy. So it finally opens up. Yeah, it's like a Mike Binder movie. See movie finally opens up about what happens. Yeah, he's definitely a very good actor. Always loses his mind, plays Sims like he does in Dark Souls. Yeah, exactly. I'll be
You just made me want to watch that movie.
Bone Mate! Yeah, have you seen it? Yeah, you haven't seen Reign Over Me?
No.
Yeah. Here's the saddest. It's a Reign Over Me.
It's a 9/11 movie, right?
It is, and it is a terrific performance by Adam Sandler. And we went to see it. We saw it at the Austin Film Festival in the big Paramount Theater. And the reason I tell this is that afterward they had a Q&A with the director and Adam Sandler and Don Cheadle. And this, what I'm about to tell you, sucked. They were like, blah, 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 and they were asking all these questions of Adam Sandler, and they're all like SNL stuff. They're all just like, can you remember this? And I was just like, shh,
are you serious?
Shut up. Gets worse. Then they were like, then someone was like, everyone was asking Adam Sandler questions, and they're all SNL questions. I was like, someone acknowledged that Don Cheadle, Oscar-nominated actor, is standing right there. Someone asked Don Cheadle a question. Someone finally did, and said, hey, when you were on Saturday Night Live, and I went, do you think he's Tim Meadows because he's black? And I just wanted to scream from the rafters, these people don't represent us! We liked this movie and just really, really appreciated all your hard work, Don Cheadle. We know who you freaking are.
Why did they even allow that to happen?
I don't know.
Is there not...
I mean, I don't know. You're supposed to tell people. I guess people just kept asking. It was terrible.
That is...
It was awful.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I remember one time I went and saw a documentary at South by in the middle of the day at the Paramount, and it was for a Ray Romano documentary.
About Ray Romano?
I'll leave that there.
Yeah, maybe that sounds familiar.
And it was fantastic and darkly funny. Like... It was him right after he had finished Everybody Loves Raymond. Yeah. And it was kind of mockumentary, but not really. and he was dark.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, and it was really, really good. And then afterward, they opened it up to questions, and in the very back of the room, someone was like, that was a piece of shit. And everybody turned, and it was like a deep voice, and we all turned because we couldn't, but like he seemed angry, and we turn around,
And his rear one?
and it's Brad Garrett just bounding down the aisle. He's just like, what a piece of shit that was.
That's amazing.
It was awesome.
That's fantastic.
And he didn't even know he was there. And so, because he was taken aback at first because he thought someone just really hated it. And I think it was the world premiere too.
Oh my gosh.
And then he was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, goodness gracious. Ray Romano's a really good actor.
Yeah,
The Big Sick.
right.
Apparently he's in Get Shorty show.
Oh, is he?
I think it's him and that dude. I can't remember that guy's name, but he's Irish and he's in Bridesmaids, and his name is Chris O'Dowd.
Oh yeah, I love him. Oh, from
love him
IT
too, he's
Crowd.
great.
Yeah, he's great.
Oh, is he in the IT Crowd? Nice.
You should watch that. IT Crowd's awesome. It's a good show.
Does
But,
that look later?
IT Crowd is a British TV show.
Oh, Silicon Valley's Mike Judge.
Yes.
Okay.
IT Crowd. It's like a 3-camera
It's got
sitcom.
Richard
Yeah. It's really good.
How do you say
If you can get past the laugh track, which took me some time,
Oh boy.
it's a brilliant show.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Well, cool.
I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah. I'll see you guys later. Hey, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you to Jeff Ray for joining us. It was my fault we were late. I don't even need to say that. You have no doubt of that. But I'm sorry.
I
Thank
was
you,
late
Shweta.
too.
You weren't late.
I was late by 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was late by 40. But I love you guys. We'll do Punch Drunk Love next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
I'm glad we're back on track. I've had a good time doing these last ones.
Yeah, so they've been good.
Ba-bam.
Thanks for hanging out in Block.
See you guys.
Always a pleasure, buddy.
Later. And I'm still cutting this. Let's just cut it, and I'll see you guys later. Again, it's only 11:57. Oh, 11:07. Oh, it's kind of early. I might hop in Discord. If you're in Discord, I might have an idea of something to do. But I'll see you guys in a few. And thank you so much. And lots of love. And see you next time. Next stream is tomorrow. I'll figure out something to do because I still need to get my controller fixed. So we might mouse and keyboard some Subnautica, or we might try to have 100 babies in The Sims. See you later. Lots of love, guys.